Welcome back to the Doomfall Dynasty. Welcome back to the Doomfall Dynasty. This is episode 7. The epic conclusion, the finale of this RP Dynasty. This is, as you might notice, a modded RP Dynasty. What does that mean, you might ask? Well, it's obviously modded. Why is it modded? You can see there are 5 regions here. That is one of the mods that we were using, allowing us to play with all 5 regions instead of just 3. Plus, there are some other changes that we have, applied to the game. We have some custom names for NPCs. We have some custom text for some of the events as well. Plus, there are some rules, some additional rules that change the stats of the game and the way the game is played. That has to do with the RP part of the modded RP Dynasty. Why is this a roleplay Dynasty? Well, first of all, because I encourage you all to roleplay your characters, to not play to win, but rather to play to tell a good story and to interpret a character. I do that with my monarchs, right? I usually try to create an idea of a character in my head, who they are, what their motivations are, what their goals are, and what they do, how they go about them. And once I have that in mind, I roleplay my monarchs, and more often than not make choices that are counterproductive if they help follow the RP. Even if they are counterproductive, I make choices that help follow the RP. And I encourage you to do the same. Again, I think it's more fun. You don't have to do it, though. So if you don't want to engage with the role-playing, you can just play to win or whatever. You can engage with the game however you wish. Additionally, how is this a roleplay dynasty, right? Like, is it just I make up a character and decide how to play? No, not really. The premise of it all is, in our RP dynasties, that I write a little situation that differs from what a normal King of the Castle game would be, right? And then we use that premise that changes the social-cultural, political start of the game to explore different settings and different themes. So, for instance, in this dynasty right here, we are exploring a world in which an ancient prophecy states that a being sleeping underneath the kingdom would one day wake up and swallow the kingdom in flames and devour the world. End the world. So we are facing doom, we are facing the apocalypse, the end of the world. This mysterious ancient being fallen into a slumber eons ago is now waking up, and with its awakening, the kingdom is hit by a number of afflictions. The waters of the kingdom are boiling, the crops turn to ash, people praying to gods other than this entity start bursting fire, small animals begin smoldering and start fires in houses and stables and granaries and forests, and so on and so forth. A number of afflictions representing the awakening of this entity are afflicting the kingdom, changing its stats. So, the stats of the kingdom, as you will see in a moment, have drastically changed. They have been lowered episode by episode, and with them their maximum cap. For instance, the max cap at the end of last season for all stats was 6. You couldn't get any more than 6 in farming, trading, military, and faith. All right? And yeah, that is to represent a kingdom going towards chaos and slowly dying off. But what can we do in the face of chaos and doom? Well, the prophecies also tell us that there are some rituals that can be performed at a kingdom level to save us all, and at a regional level to try and save our specific regions. You can find them in the link that is currently pinned in chat here on Twitch. If you follow that link, you're gonna see a list of all the quests that are available. And there are 2 types of quests: common quests that all the nobles can work together on. And if the nobles manage to achieve all 7 common quests, the kingdom is saved and the entity will go back to sleep. And right now, you have managed to achieve all but 1 of those quests. The only one that is left is Weather the Afflictions, and that requires you to raise all kingdom stats to at least 3 at the end of this session. This will be the last session of this dynasty. If the stats are below 3, the end of the war, if any stat except Defiance is below 3, at the end of this reign, the world will come to an end. Doom will hit us all. What happens if you think that the common quests are not achievable though? Well, you still have an opportunity to try and save your own region. The different regions all have their own regional quests. If you follow those regional quests, they allow you to survive, to try and survive as an entity, a regional entity. Check them out. And decide which ones you want to pursue. Can we get a quick list in chat of the regional quests that are currently active? And yeah. Like the ones that require 2 episodes that were activated at the end of last episode. Were there any? Does that include stats gotten as a result of the final ambition? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What are we at again? You'll see in a moment, Shiny. So, this is our premise here. If you have any additional questions on how this works and what you might want to do, feel free to ask. If you're new around here and this sounds a little overwhelming, don't worry. Just play along, have a good time, don't worry too much about the quests. If you want to participate, ask 2 people in chat, and they're going to be more than happy, I'm sure, to let you know how you can participate. And, yeah. Barons started self-preservation with trade, farming faith. Patricians started self-preservation with trade. So patricians probably want to keep trade at maximum, and barons want to keep one of those 3 stats at maximum. Right? Plus, there are some specific, region-specific quests that they can achieve. Great, thank you so much, Vaspir. So patricians, you probably want to keep trade at max, and barons, you want to keep either trade, farming, or faith at max. If you want to pursue your regional quest. So, yeah, exactly. More than anything, we remain King of the Castle players. We just add stuff on top, not rewrite how the game is played. So, again, feel free to engage with this any way you want. And I hope you can have fun. So, with that said, I have one last premise. No, actually, I'm gonna give you the premise after I show you the effects of the affliction and the current kingdom stats. So the current kingdom stats are this. It's not looking too great. So last time, the final affliction kicked in. And the final affliction was this. When the last king died, killed by the spy master at the start of a new rebellion, the sun went down. That happened at night, after sundown. The following day, there was no dawn. There was no sunrise. No sunrise. Alright? There was no sunrise. The sun did not rise for one day. It took 48 hours for the sun to rise again. And when it did, it was a little tiny bit paler compared to previously. And since then, every day, the sun has become weaker. And every night, a few stars go out. The world is becoming darker and colder. Alright? And that has caused, the mechanical effect of that affliction was to lower authority and stability by 2. That also means that the maximum caps for those 2 stats have been lowered. Alright? So now, max cap for stability and authority is, correct me if I'm wrong, Morgrim, 4. Authority and stability cannot be raised past 4. This might be a short reign. This might be a short reign. Oh, no worries, Morgan. I saw your message. Is the only barrier left the magic one, if I'm remembering the lore correctly? Possibly? Yeah, I know, don't worry. I have notes. Alright. So, 4 maximum authority and stability, 6 maximum trade, farming, military, and faith. Alright? People are panicking. People are panicking and they have lost faith in the crown, is what this represents. So, you have a chance to complete your common quest. All you have to do is raise military for the counts and for the patricians to 3, and raise farming for the grandees to 1. On the other hand, the grandees, if they want to complete their regional quest, they have to drop farming to 0. So this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be real tough. We'll see how it goes. In this situation, I would lose faith in the crown too. I'm glad you see the resonance. So, keeping that in mind, one last premise before we start playing. I just want to make you all aware that with the current stat limits, some, and by some I mean a lot, of schemes are currently impossible to achieve. Alright? So I would encourage you to not think too much about schemes tonight. Alright? I like that plan more. Lemon Square, welcome in. I would encourage you to not focus too much on schemes. Try to focus on quests, and if all things wrong, focus on defiance. Keep in mind that this is the last chance to save the kingdoms. So defiance is probably gonna go higher than authority and stability pretty quickly. But think before you start the rebellion. Think if this is how you want it to end. Think if you have a very good reason to start a rebellion, because once a rebellion starts, it's very possible that the world will end real quick. Alright? So, think about it. Think about it. Yeah, schemes like, and also from a roleplay standpoint, right? Who would want to be king right now anyway? True, exactly. Yeah, rebellion wouldn't help in this condition at all. At all. So try to think about what your nobles would feel right now, right? Like if you want to try to save somebody, you want the kingdom to be as stable as possible for as long as possible. You probably don't want rebellions. You probably don't want to follow a scheme. Try to think about this, alright? Exactly, there's no use for schemes except to overthrow someone out of pure spite, who would be crazy enough to do that. Okay, yes, the nobles are, but they promise not to. That's also a lie, but think about it. Yeah, like, if you want to try to save the kingdom, yes, increase your stats and try to fulfill quests. Otherwise, make up your mind about your noble, right? No, I'm just cautioning you. I'm just cautioning you. Alright. Alright, so... yeah, exactly. That's one point that I wanted to drive across. What Nolark is saying. If you think about rebellion being a way to end the game immediately when the stats are good, right? Like if you hit a good combination of stats and you want the game to end, that might be a good moment to trigger a rebellion, right? Because that prevents other events from lowering the stats before it's too late. But yeah, I'm done strategizing here. I wanted to share with you what I think some considerations that are important to keep in mind are. Now, the destiny The fate of the kingdom is all in your hands. If I keep praying, everything will be fine. Yeah, if you don't burst out in fire. So let's start, and before we start with the events, as always, I have a little summary to read to help you catch up with what happened last week. So last time, in the Doomfall Dynasty, in the reign of King Julian the Arsonist, who ruled from 979 to 985. After Bjarne is killed, King Bjarne is killed, the council hopes crowning a patrician will calm down the pagan ninthist vendetta. Julian corruption is reputed as a talented and charitable businessman, a perfect king to reunite the ravaged kingdom. His shyness masks his true intents and methods. For a time, Julian keeps the peace. The banditry explodes in the east, and his malicious crackdown so worsens the situation that his image as a uniter is crushed. He shifts his efforts to recovering the scepter of Alma, while the crown's armies break the east's spiral into lawlessness. The doors protecting the scepter, however, only open for devout monarchs. Julian does much for the church. He even converts the north, but only for PR purposes. Despite his efforts to prove his strength and faith, the doors stay closed and the nobles grow restless. Under the university's care, the printing press spreads knowledge that helps the kingdom endure, but also documents the monarchy's flaws. Eastern and coastal advisors vie for influence so much that the king himself is ignored. After Julian accidentally burns down a southern village, Grandee Rodrigo Nazarene declares him unfit to rule. Executing the noble silences critics, but angers the south. The High Inquisitor reveals the queen consort, Jacinta Nazarene, is a heretic. Hoping she was the one whose presence made him unworthy, Julian has her re-educated. Yet, the scepter still eludes him. When Grandee Jacinta comes back, she quickly divorces. This is when the south, along with the east, strikes. After more than 6 years of rule, Julian the Arsonist, still unworthy of the scepter, faces a second civil war. Spymaster Amalis has seen enough. She kills the king, freeing the throne for Count Karzhak's soul, a hopefully better ruler. The setting sun fades with the light in Julian's eyes, and only comes back 2 nights later, its radiance dimmed. Doom is coming. There won't be another chance. Please give a big round of applause to That Which Lurks for this amazing summary. We had a 6-hour stream last week. Unprecedented. These usually last for about 3 hours. I have no idea how Lurks managed to fit all of that into this, but Lurks managed to. Please join me in a big round of applause for Lurks. Thank you for this last summary of the Dynasty. I really appreciate it. This was insane to read. I am. Thank you. Incredibly grateful. So many events. Yeah, so much happened. I genuinely don't know how you managed to fit everything as much as you did in that post. That's insane. Hey Sparse. Modest Pickle, thank you for the 9 beats for the 9th. How'd you become an arsonist in the same kingdom of the Sleeper? Burning a bunch of villages, apparently. When you were supposed to save them. Tycho! How you doing, Tycho? Welcome in! It's pretty funny in the lark. Alright. Don't forget to show me and Hyena Droid. Hyena, I showed already. Vaspir, there you are. Vaspir the Third! Wait! You don't have that much of a frown. Ethan, holy crap! Holy crap, Ethan! I won't be playing this at the start of the Dynasty. I missed my chance to have my region changed and haven't been participating since. No, Ethan! Jesus, that is incredibly freaking generous of you. Man, you're really helping out with the new PC fund. You probably missed that conversation, but my PC is breaking down, and we had a whole conversation and a bunch of support earlier in the stream, and you know, that's on par with everything that happened before. Thank you so much for the 1,700 bits, Ethan. Thank you so much, sir. That's incredibly, incredibly kind of you. I hope you'll be able to join in the new dynasty and pick the region that you prefer. We're probably gonna do the same thing that we did this dynasty, allowing people one change between episode 1 and 2. But yeah, thank you so much, Ethan. Really, it means a lot right now. Oh. I was still a rebel leader last reign though. Runs in the family at this point. That's a good point. Yeah, man, really. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alright, so now that I've showed everybody, now that we have read the summary, we are ready to jump into the game. Let's start with the coronation. Let's get to know our new monarch. Now let's see what Isaac has to say. What? Oh no! This is not... Oh no! Morgrim! What happened here? Missed my chance to change regions because you started the stream at a different time than usual. Oh no! Damn it! We'll do better next time, Ethan. We'll do better. Isaac's cracked under the pressure. I know what happened. Do y'all want to rejoin real quick to have the custom events? It's gonna take like 90 seconds to do. Yeah? I'm down, I'm not opposed. Yeah? Okay, let's do it. Let's get the custom events. Yeah, let's do it. And also that means that we get a chance to take a look at our beautiful join screen again. Do I have to quit the game? That you know? To change the events? It's a save file, so no? Great. Whenever you're ready, Morgrim, I am ready now. Oh, this is a 5 region bug. I see, okay. This is pretty cool. This freaking screen is pretty cool. I think I'm probably gonna use it as my wallpaper. After we're done with Doomfall. This is amazing. I absolutely love how, you know, this is not this part is in shade, is in shade, right? Because the light is coming from the other side. Oh, sorry, Sora. I'm gonna try to do that. I mean, you're gonna have an opportunity now in the join screen, right? Oh, let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at my enemy. Can you tell I like setting things on fire? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my god, with the scythe. And those freaking glasses, that's terrifying. I got it, Markroom, thank you. Alright, we have the fix. There it is. Close this. Move this. Boom. Morgrim? There's something... No, there's something not working there. There's something not working. Something's not working. For some reason, it's not... No, that's not what I mean. So, let me download this again. Okay, let's try again. Let me do this. Okay, let's try this now. Okay. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Oh, I got it, Morgan. I fixed it. Alright, I'm gonna start the game. You can still join, so don't worry about it. It's pretty fucking lark. Alright, I'm gonna wait a minute still. I'm gonna give it like 90 more seconds to let more people join so that you can vote for the coronation event. Amy, I don't think that's the solution. I think that's the problem. Hell yes, Sora. Alright. I'm going to start... Married. I'm gonna start the coronation event. And while I read that, rejoin everybody. Rejoin, because we had to exit the game. So if you want to vote for the coronation, rejoin. Now let's see if it works. Yes! There you go. Welcome in and goodbye, Your Majesty. Here is my resignation letter. Isaac is done. Isaac is so done. Isaac is so done. Welcome in and goodbye, Your Majesty. Here is my resignation letter. Oh, you missed the thing here, I think. If I have to witness the end of the world, I might as well pick a more scenic spot than this council hall. Our options are, Isaac, do you really want to go now? Or would you rather make one last attempt? Or, I don't think you'll leave me, Isaac. I think there's still hope in your heart. Just listen to it closely. Or, I understand your frustration, Isaac, but I beg you to stay with me. We can still do something, you and me. Isaac is absolutely resigning, yes. Isaac is done. Isaac is done. Isaac is done. They've had enough. So... I think Karzhak is going to say, I understand your frustration, Isaac, but I beg you to stay with me. We can still do something, you and me. Yeah. I don't want to listen to your excuse. That's rather comforting to hear, actually. Somebody finally listening to me. All right, I see how it is. Shall we call the nobles in? Isaac is not gonna leave you. Isaac is not gonna resign at the very end. They tried. They had to try. But do you really think they would be capable of doing it? They are absolutely trapped in this. This is a toxic relationship with the end of the world, and Isaac is absolutely not able to escape it. An Isaac tier list. So yeah, Isaac is still with us. What do you want to do for the coronation of King Karzhak, my dear nobles? You know, I have an idea. What do you all think about raising some stats? What do you all think? I think Karzhak would actually love to have a religious ceremony. You know? I think so. I think so. No monarch in the tier list, only Isaac. Toxic yaoi between Isaac and the concept of calamity itself. Toxic relationship with the end of the world sounds like a banger fanfic title. Yeah, that was a cool framing that came to mind. Has it been this whole time Isaac's Doomfall? Might be. Oh wow, we're actually gonna all pray. Yeah, anything to help us now, exactly. Let's go. Karzhak is very happy. Sevis destroys the world and only leaves Isaac behind, looking at the mess. This is Isaac's personal hell. In the hallowed halls of St. Berthrand's Cathedral, the Archbishop places the crown upon your head before launching into a sermon. That is why Karzhak is the king, ordained by divine right, chosen by the ninth god and elevated above all. If the assembled nobles were plotting against you, perhaps the threat of eternal damnation has given them second thought. Probably not. Do it for Isaac, everybody. Complete the common quest. Do it for Isaac. A ninth discount, indeed. Let's introduce ourselves to the council. Welcome in, Ray. Oh, right. I forgot that we wouldn't have an Isaac thing here. You know? I'm going to ignore this and just read you the alternative version in which Isaac is doing the talking. Alright? Of course I'm gonna read the Isaac quote. Just ignore what is on stream on the screen right now. So, the edited version, the edited lines with Isaac, because I think that's more entertaining. Or rather, I think that's what the people want. So the version that I had prepared, forgetting that this would be how it played out, was... If you really think this is Isaac talking. If you really think it's worth it, now would be the time to introduce yourself to the nobles, your majesty. They'll all be dead in a few years anyway, but you do you. That's the Isaac you've learned to know and love. We want more tired, sassy Isaac. Isaac will be dying for you, you know? We need Isaac as a monarch in the next, you know? Let's do that. After we finish Doomfall, before we start the new dynasty, we're gonna do a one-shot in which Isaac is the monarch. Boom. There you go. Isaac Doomfall's son. They'd hate it, probably. Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. And I'm also gonna read you the lines for the counts that are not here. So let's start with the barons. Hail, your majesty. We must find a way to fight this. This cannot be the end. Please do something. You know, people are not optimistic at this point. We're going to read the grandees now. The ninth is abandoning this world, Your Highness. The signs are clear. You have disappointed him. Not much positivity around here. We're gonna go with the patricians. Actually, the chiefs first. Doom is upon us, Your Highness. Soon the sun will perish, and our world with it. We should meet the end with a glorious feast, celebrating our way to the thereafter. Everybody thinks that we're just done. We're over. We're over. Patricians. If the world were to end, all the riches in this world would prove worthless, Your Serene Highness. We can't let this happen. We must stop this at any cost. It would have been perfect if it was you, Sparse. And finally, I'm gonna read you what I had written for the counts. As the old prophecies announced, the world is ending, Your Majesty. May Doom embrace us all lovingly and grant us a quiet rest. Very Eastern. Very Eastern. Kane, Isaac is they, them. Yeah, here's what Bonkel III actually said, exactly. Much more fitting, right? Alright. The council hall immediately fills with loud voices, requesting your attention with various degrees of desperation. Meanwhile, what do you think? Will it be a good little king and do as he's told? Too early to tell, but I have a bad feeling we should have a backup plan just in case. It's really fitting, I agree. Okay, now let's get to meet our new king. Who is Karzhak? And also, hello Amalis, you murderer. Your Majesty, we have granted the king one last chance. It is up to you not to squander it. Amalis is cold. And also think that Amalis was put in her role by Julian, who she murdered. Amalis is cold, but efficient, and that's why Karzhak is keeping her. How do you intend to use this opportunity? Yeah, Isaac not liking Amalis very much. Alright. So, who is King Karzhak Sol? So, King Karzhak Sol. The intro text. So, this is probably the most fleshed out monarch that I've had. I usually write one little piece of note, you know, one little note paper sheet of paper. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I just kept writing. Ideas kept coming to my mind. So I'm gonna share some things with you, and the others are gonna come up over the course of the reign. The intro said that Karzhak is a eccentric reformed cultist. And I think that Karzhak is a former member of Etravian's cult. Of all cultists that he could have been, I think he was a member of the cult of Etravian that sprang up in the east during the reign of Queen Zilma. Well, it was Queen Zilma, right? Am I remember correctly? Or was it Monarch? I don't remember. The 8th chapter. That makes so much sense, right? Uh-huh. So I think that Karzhak... Monarch, okay, sorry. Thank you, Lurks. So yeah, during the reign of Monarch Zilma of the south, a heretical cult sprang up in the east, led by a sorcerer by the name of Etravian, who used the supposed Hand of the Eighth, this huge mechanical arm that was this whole mechanical hand that was found underground, to pursue their goals, right? And Monarch Zilma quashed that that cult. And I think that Karzhak was part of that cult, but has since been reformed and ended up joining Ninthist faith under the impulse of Zilma Nazarin's victory over the cult. Alright? So we do a little bit of a reincorporation here of what happened previously in the dynasty. I think Karzhak was part of that cult, but has since joined Ninthism. And even though he joined Ninthism following the impulse of Zilma's proselytism, I think that he has a different approach compared to Zilma, in the sense that he's known to be much more tolerant of other creeds. Right? Yeah. Probably seeing... It just respects, right? The other creeds of the kingdom. Yeah, right? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, Amy. So what else? What else? Okay. And I think that... anyone who's more tolerant than Zilma? Yeah. I think that Karzhak has a peculiar take on the apocalypse and everything that's happening. I think that basically he says, and this is something that he shares openly with the nobles, right? Like he says, he believes that the Ninth gave us the rituals because he wanted us to perform them and save ourselves, right? If the Ninth wanted to destroy us, he would have just done so. So the fact that he gave us these rituals means that he's giving us a chance to save ourselves, and he wants us to save ourselves. So we have not disappointed him yet, until we fail him, ultimately, by failing the quests. Right? In a way, a callback to First and the First and their tolerance of other faiths, in a different light, but kinda. But in a very different light, I'd say. You can probably see how. Yeah, exactly. You have the tools to fix the world, now show you are willing. Even though Ninethists believe the Ninth God will end the world one day, yeah. I think that Karzhak believes that if the Ninth wanted to end the world, he would have just done so. And the fact that we have been given rituals means that the Ninth doesn't want the world to end right now. So, with that said, I think that Karzhak is very clearly gonna strive to be a saint. He's a very religious individual, and I don't know how to decline this in the future, like which of the two paths is gonna pick. But I think he's definitely gonna follow faith. The church will love you, I suspect, but will anyone else? You're in, Angst Demon, don't worry. I suggest over the next few years, if we're going to improve the kingdom's overall faith as much as possible. Now, keep in mind what I told you earlier about the schemes. Most of the schemes are auto-fail, so don't think too much about it. Yeah. Let's go. Sirius, welcome in. How you doing? Let's take a look at the schemes. Marty of the Ray of Hope bloodline. Ray of Hope is what we need right now. Powerful Queller stands before Blazing Hearth shouting and swearing. Whenever the Barons of the March back down from a fight, never, I'll do whatever it takes to put me, your rightful monarch, on the throne. My dear Barons, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to modernize the army, trying to lower other people's military? Do you want to use propaganda, trying to lower stability? Or do you want to acquire gunpowder, trying to lower authority? Doing fine? Well, that's good, Sirius. It's better than most. Simple Coffee, welcome in. Barons, vote now. What do you want to do? Looks like you want to do for gunpowder. You gonna go for gunpowder? Is that it? I think so. Yeah. We have 4 Barons out of 5 voting for gunpowder. Just 1 missing. Let's see who it is. Oh, there you go. Never mind. Everybody voted. Let's go. I love the idea of barons using gunpowder in hopes of exploding Sevis. Yeah, hopefully we ignore this, right? But we'll see. The Republic of Kurth has this substance called gunpowder. With enough of that, the barons could take over the kingdom. Of course, sensible king would never allow one region to hoard such a thing. To advance their scheme, the barons must lower authority to 3 or less in 2 seasons. Boom! Helga of the Skeleton Recognition clan, sinister herald of the Old Wasi, stands precariously in the longhouse crossbeam, screaming like a fallen god. Hell yeah, serious. We're gonna start it in a couple weeks, so... Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter King Karzhak. How do we make that happen? Dear Chiefs of the North, what do you want to do here? Do you want to follow prophecy, trying to raise authority? Do you want to start Ragnarok, trying to raise your own military? Or do you want to follow Hornblower, trying to lower your old faith? What do you want to do? This is fun. I'll just spectate and laugh now, and see how the world ends. If Old Wasi is so cool, why isn't there a new Wasi? Because Old Wasi is all we need. Chiefs, what do you want to do here? I see a couple of chiefs voting. Electri and Null Arc, you are missing. But we have majority here. There you go. Looks like it's gonna be Ragnarok. Is it gonna be 100% vote? I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go. Ragnarok it is. The chiefs plan to make an alliance with the Ice Giants to take over the kingdom. First, they must not be weak, or the Giants won't take their proposal seriously. To advance their scheme, the chiefs must raise their military to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Morgrim, why is the 5 in military here highlighted? Should it not be? Does this mean that the cap is 5? Yuli of the Soul Dragon Dynasty, powerful doomsayer, leans delicately on a podium, sighing. Oh, I see. Tai assized. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good to know, good to know. For some reason I thought it highlighted stats when they hit the cap. Never mind. Most excellent. Karzhak now sits the throne and the counts are in charge as they should be, but the other regions will already be scheming to depose him. Do we stay loyal to the new king or cut our losses and put me on the throne instead? Yeah, you have another son apparently. What do you want to do, counts? Do you want to be a loyalist and help King Karzhak? Do you want to use sorcery and raise authority, or do you want to try to find a doppelganger trying to get the lowest defiance? Alright, loyalist it is. Easy vote. Settle seat, long live the king, may he bring glory and honor to these, but you can always change your mind and start a rebellion. Then we have the Grandies here. Oh, look at this handsome... Oh my god. Carmen of the Tialis lineage, fanatic southern prodigy, stands bathed in sunshine, speaking softly. If false pretender occupies a throne on my claim is ignored, Grandies of the south, this is a stain on our honor, we must not allow it to go unanswered. Pretty sure there's a special dialogue, yeah. Alright. Grandies, what do you want to do here? Do you want to use subterfuge, trying to lower stability? Do you want to start a witch hunt, trying to get the highest faith? Or do you want to spread fervor, trying to raise your own farming? Which could be an idea here, huh? Could be an idea. Depending on what you want to do. This is gonna tell us if the Grandies want to pursue common quests or regional quests, I'd say. We have a bunch of Grandies. What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, it's currently a tie, 2-2. We have Modest Pickle, who has not voted, and Hamey, who never votes. Angst Demon. Alright. Oh my god, it's a perfect tie. It's a perfect tie. 50%, actually 33%. Let's see what it is. Let's see what the Ninth God chooses. Further it is, raise your own farming. There you go. The Grandee, Clement, Carmen has been chosen by the Night God to be the next monarch. They have promised the first miracle, food for all. To advance their scheme, the Grandees must raise their farming to 5 or more in 4 seasons. This is gonna be interesting. This is such a good story, I'd say. Right? Like, food for all, people need that. Herona of the Shiny Quartz family, charismatic Navy Admiral, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk explaining in measured prose. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Karzhak. Something must be done. And finally, patricians, what do you want to do here? Do you want to intimidate the king, trying to raise stability? Do you want to start an uprising, trying to raise the treasury? Or do you want to start a conspiracy, trying to lower treasury? No corruption around here. No corruption this time. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, my dear patricians? My dear patricians? Any patricians in the room? Petitions? Icehawk, you are in the game. I don't know why it's not picking up your vote. Try rejoining, Icehawk. Intimidation and conspiracy both have raised military stage 3. Oh, there you go. Those are the ones. Oh, conspiracy we're picking, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Try rejoining Icy for some reason. Oh, there you go. Okay. No idea why it didn't work earlier. Probably I want to see both timelines. One where we fail and one where we succeed. Alright, let's go. Conspiracy it is. The patricians plan to sink the king under a notion of debt. To advance their scheme, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 3 seasons. Alright. Oh, there is an ad running right now? A bunch of bastard offshoots, oh my god. Very promiscuous, these cultists. A questionable claimant and who knows. So there is an ad running right now. So I am going to get up and refuel my mug here. I'll see you in 2 minutes and then we can start with the events, alright? So use your opportunity to get a drink yourself or a snack. I'll be right back. All right. All right. We have a few more seconds of ads. Let me just quickly read who my monarch is here. This is such a cool concept. I like this monarch. I'm gonna tell you everything about this monarch at some point. I usually keep some things secret here, but I'm gonna tell you everything about this one. Did I say Julian? Oh yeah, Julian got around probably, or Karzhak. So let's continue. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go. So I think it's gonna be Iron Choice. It makes sense. I can see Iron Choice working here. It's definitely no pressure. No tricks. This is the one that makes the most sense. It's not as I usually imagine it. I'm gonna explain narratively what that means. I mean, Amy, if I didn't love what I'm doing here, I wouldn't be streaming this game for like 3 years, or however long it's been. We are so fucked already. The world is ending. Beast attacks and giant spiders immediately. This is so bad. But yeah, I love this. I get super excited whenever I do this stuff. I'd say let's start with the honor guard, because we're probably gonna need one. Oh wait, isn't this the new name? Oh, did you sneakily change it when you handed me over the new thing, Morgrim? Welcome, Marshal Lavira. You're a genius, Morgan. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. Giant spider, post-apocalyptic wasteland cavalry. Think about it, that's pretty badass. Yeah, I mean, you're just a genius for remembering. I had forgotten already. Welcoming Marshal Lavira, the only new person in the council. I'm gonna let you know. Yeah, photo time, do it now. Let me know when I can go ahead. Let me know when I can go ahead. Unfortunately, we cannot recruit the March of Veterans. There's been a major scandal. Some of them were making up their military records. The medals were made of tin, and the scars were from farming accidents. Can I go ahead, Sora? They won't come to the capital until this blows over. You'll need to pick someone else. Well... Oh, good to go, thank you. Well then, Karzhak, I think... Karzhak might go for the nuns here. Karzhak might go for the nuns. Yeah, I think Karzhak is gonna go for the nuns. What do you mean? No, that can happen in the game, yeah. Mina, welcome back. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Let's go with the nuns. How could you choose them? Actually, sorry. Comma, exclamation mark. How could you choose them? I'll make the arrangements at once. The battle nuns arrive in the palace a few weeks later. They nod to you silently. They're selling steel masks betray nothing before filing information behind your throne. There we go. Let's start with giant beast attacks. Your Highness, I bring ill tidings from the north. Wildlife has gone berserk in rural areas. They're attacking villages and travelers all across the region. Ignore the similar armor? No, I don't think. You know, that's actually a very cool detail that you added. I think it's good to note that. Well, then good morning, or whatever it is for you, Mina. Tell me more about these creatures. They're great hulking beasts, clearly twisted by magic. Some say they walk and talk like people. The northern warriors are afraid. They say the creatures are a dark omen, a sign of the end. By the ninth, what's got into these chiefs that they can't handle a few wild animals? The other regions have plenty of their own problems, Your Majesty. No one wants to march up to the frozen north for something like this. Then what am I to do? Point of order, Your Highness. The Church of the Ninth God could provide shelter for those who need it. All will be welcome, whether they are adherents to the true God or not. It's the least we can do. Or if you can afford it, send a detachment of mercenaries who aren't afraid of a few wild bears. Smash midnight. Okay, good evening then. I think... I'm probably gonna encourage you to... I gotta ban that. Gotta veto this. I'm gonna encourage you to seek refuge in the Ninth God's churches here. I'm gonna encourage you to ask for the help of the Ninth. We don't have enough money to hire mercenaries, unfortunately. Or I would have done it. I think the Ninth is gonna lend us help, and that's the best we can do right now. It's not great, but what can you do? It would have been ideal. Oh my god, serious? What the hell happened there? Oh my god, serious? Thank you so much, man. Holy crap. One more coming through with 5 gifted subs to the Angst Demon, Ethan Ace, Mr. Dragon, Mina, and Natus Anima. Serious, holy crap, thank you. Thank you, thank you. For your support, man. Y'all have been so freaking supportive tonight, I'm amazed. Are you serious, man? Seriously? Thank you so much, serious. Really. This is gonna go straight into the new PC fund, as I was saying earlier to Ethan. I don't know if you caught the whole conversation, but yeah. My PC is starting to break off, and yeah, I'm probably gonna have to buy a new PC soon, so these go straight into that fund. Not gonna touch a dime of these. Thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Are you serious? Yeah, that's me. That's always funny. Alright. Yeah, the North has a 9th bishop. Yep. The Archbishop instructs all churches across the North to open their doors to refugees fleeing the attacks. They are more than glad for the assistance. Over time, the beasts withdraw. The Northerners are grateful for the church's help, with many finding a new place in their hearts for the Ninth God and his disciples. That's great. It's great. Icehawk, are you a chief? No, okay, you're patrician. Good. Well, there is a community-made mod, Mina, that's kind of unstable, but still functional enough. Sora, hi. Your Highness, a forest on my land has been completely overrun by giant spiders. Some are as big as horses. That's... Oh my god. Would you rather fight 100 spider-sized horses? Or one horse-sized spider? Huh? Here's the question. Big spiders are less likely to combust? Good point. Spider-sized horses. The trees are shrouded in webs and travelers are going missing. We must put a stop to this. Must learn to coexist? I think we have to put a bounty on giant spiders. I mean, oh god. I think I'm going to push for... I don't think he would go for coexisting. I think we're gonna put a bounty on giant spider legs and hope that works. The fun part is that people love going for a funny animal option, but now that they explode, actually, who am I kidding? Let's go for that. Oh shit. Oh god, I don't want to know the details more, Grim. Oh wow, you're gonna burn them? Is that so? Interesting. Looks like you're gonna burn them. Alright. 11 to 8. Counting down from 3, 2, 1, and 0. No time to lose. You send an Eastern militia to set fires at the edges of the forest. The whole thing's gotta go. Soon the whole forest is ablaze, as well as several nearby fields, and the village. Wildfires rage across the east for a week, but at least the spiders have been definitively dealt with. That's not too bad. Yet. Okay, there you go, no spiders anymore. Oh, auction time, y'all. Auction. It is time for a very special modded auction. Alright. So. Yeah, right, kinda. What do y'all want here? Are there any appealing options? Oh, raising farming for the grandees, if you want to do that. And that's pretty much it. Then probably raising authority or stability. Anything except G for Vaspir, yeah. Yeah, or just boost region stats. That's a good point. Yeah. Alright. Let's go. Let's start this auction. It's gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Boop. Let's go. Spend your money, spend your money, spend your money. Exclamation mark fund followed by the letter of the building. When fund followed by the amount of money you want to spend. Spend your money. What's happening? I'll let you know when there's 20 seconds left. Currently, G and C are being funded. G is the Sativille being funded. So an aqueduct is now the most paid for building currently, the most expensive building. E is also being built now. So either raising authority or raising military for the chiefs. So currently aqueduct and monument being built. 20 seconds left right now. Go, 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 spend your money. G and H now. G and H raising stability. G and E, 10 seconds left. I'm gonna let you know when there's 5 seconds left. Which is right now, 5 seconds left. G and E, 3, 2, 1. Beep. G and C end up being funded. Raising military for the chiefs. And look at that Icy Hawk helping out. And farming for the grandees. Damn. Skelzel trying to do the thing at the very last second. New gods. We have a... Oh god. This is actually super interesting. Let's start with finding a spouse. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. King Karzhak, of course. Wouldn't want to disappoint. King Karzhak is absolutely gay as heck. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Happy Pride Month, everybody. It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the Counts, as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Right? One last yaoi for Pride Month. Hell yeah. And now, let's go with the new gods. Your greatness, I've come to thank you and the Ninth Church for your kindness during this so-called season of claws. Never thought I'd say it, but I'm glad for their help. Creatures attacks of ease, I can only imagine why, but I thank the gods for it, both the old and the new. May they never return. Once the chiefs have bowed her head to leave, your Archbishop is quick to lean over to you. Your Majesty, we are presented with a golden opportunity to expand the Church's influence. We should capitalize on this goodwill immediately. Do we need to do that, though? You can get your ear that way. True thing. I'll actually say leave them to their pagan ways. I'm gonna use Monarch's vote though, it's not an iron choice. I'm gonna say we're good. Yeah. We need as many gods as we can get right now. You know, that is very resonant with what Karzhak believes. Look at the grandies. All voting for B. How predictable. Okay. Let's go. Oh, one voting for C. Amy, oh my god. Okay, let's go. The council decides against kicking the hornet's nest, or the sleeping bear, as the case may be. Yours and the ninth god will fudge them accordingly in the thereafter anyways. And now stop the presses. Let me turn my fan slightly towards me, please. It's almost 30 degrees right now in here, in spite of the AC being on all day, for like 6 hours. Your Serene Highness, some anonymous firebrand in the coast is spreading most inflammatory pamphlets. They're casting aspersions against you. Huh. What's new? Something different this time. They're not just calling you a bad king, they're criticizing the very concept of monarchy. This is republicanism, and not in Kurth, but in our very own kingdom. What should we do? So... Kill on the spot? No. I think it's either A or D. I think as much as Karzhak is tolerant, like faith-wise, I think he's still a monarch, and he'd want to track down the printers responsible. I think this is a risk for the stability of the kingdom, and right now the kingdom cannot afford to be unstable. Down to gamble? Always. Always down to gamble. That's a great quote. We must protect our investment in the king, yeah. Oh my god. Is it been turned around? I think it's Gamba. The one you're looking for. I think it's Gamba. Too early, probably. Try any. Too early. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. I have no idea what that's quoting at. 0. So 8 to 13 looks like we're gonna allow the pamphlets to circulate. Okay. But we must do something. You'd expect us to let the common folk attack the very foundations of our society? Thanks to your permissive attitude, the coast quickly becomes a haven for radical thought. Intellectuals travel across the Celestat to debate politics and philosophy. Conversation, wine, and money flow in equal measure. For the first time, people across the kingdom seriously contemplate the idea of a republic, but for now, it remains a fringe faction of rebel-rousers and radicals. Alright. Amidst dark and foreboding forest, a small squat castle stands over the Marcher border. There, at the end of the kingdom, a plot is hatching. The kingdom's descended into anarchy. This is perfect. The port authorities are barely manned, and the king is thoroughly distracted. Not only have we secretly imported our first barrel of gunpowder from Kurth, we've made extra money on the sly, thanks to lax regulations. But one barrel of gunpowder is not nearly enough to put me on the throne. Of course not, we'll need to drum up as much money as we can. For the next stage of the Baron scheme, they must raise their trade to 5 or more in 4 seasons. There you go. Oh, taxation time. Dear Grandies, do you mind if I take just a little bit? I don't want to give it to the patricians. Just one go to get at around 2,000. I need to tank farming. If there's no monarch, then how can the monarch die and cause new afflictions? Oh my god. Do you mind, Grandies? I think we might need this in case we have some emergency. I wouldn't do it if we didn't get that. Think you should take it from the counts for equity? Hugo doesn't mind, however. You mean take it from the counts are also? I think I'll stick to this. You should take it from the Grandies so Baspier cannot use it to tank farming. I think I'll do this. I think I'll do this. And probably this is gonna be like the only other moment we're going to be taking some money is if we go below 1,000. Otherwise, we're probably not gonna do any cruel tax. This is the first and last. All right. Let's take a look at dangerous roads here. Yeah, 250 is not that much. Your Highness, the merchants in the south are complaining about bandits. The southern roads are too dangerous to travel, even with guards. Gangs of highly organized, well-armed highwaymen will ambush merchant caravans and steal absolutely everything. Okay, what can we do with this? We can raise trade in the south at the cost of some money. I mean, the belligerent Grandies, I'm pretty sure would be more than happy to send a battle-hardened regiment to rout the bandits, right? I'd say. I don't think we super need to raise trade, and this is a lot of money to pay. I think I'll push for this, but if we end up going for the mercenary company, I'm okay with it. No, we need a military. Oh, this is gonna be very close. This is quite literally what we pay taxes for. That's true. That is true. 10 to 7. 10 to 7, still quite close. 11 to 7. Of course, enjoy breakfast, Ray. And thank you for the last moment vote. Oh. I'll drop my pen here. 12 to 7. 13 to 7. Looks like we're gonna pay mercenary company. Let's go. You pay a fearsome mercenary company known as the Gold-Bitten to patrol the roads and keep the bandits at bay. After a dozen bandit attacks are repelled in roadside skirmishes, the bandits lay low and lick their wounds. The roads are quiet once more. Merchants grumble that the mercenaries demand constant bribes and that their manners are almost as bad as those of bandits, but who cares? Merchants are never happy. Right? What a cool story, Amy. Alright, Ulthrandra. Your Majesty, the creatures that have been ravaging our countryside, they are Ulthrandra. Speak plainly, will you? Ulthrandra, your greatness. People of the north turned into horrible creatures through ancient ritual. Where beasts? We should act swiftly then. Wait, your Majesty, there's something else you should know. The Ulthrander, they're fanatics. They attack us because they believe we're turned against our old gods. They wish to see the influence of your ninth god completely eradicated in the north. Your archbishop is incensed, but you calm him with a wave of your hand. A vote must be called. Huh. Huh. Ban all pagan practices in the north? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So, I want to be very clear here. I don't think that banning all pagan practices in the north is an option. I don't think that restricting other people's faiths is going to be the way. I'm considering vetoing A, but that is generally considered a very aggressive thing to do. So I want to communicate it to you. I don't think we should ban. I don't think we should ban worship of northern gods. And I think he's actually going to veto this because he thinks that doing this goes strictly against the survival of the kingdom. He believes that doing this will go against what the ninth wants from us. Let's try to invite the peace folk to the capital for an audience. I'll take it upon me to work this out. Wow, the council is united. Incredible. This did not work last time. Has anyone here read a history book? Evidently not Karzhak. Let's go. Yeah, if nobody votes, it's a three-way tie in that case. Although some are aghast at the idea, it's the only way to resolve the situation once and for all. An old Eastern proverb, wars are ended quicker with paper than with iron. We need to try to reason with them. Alright, eligible options. Let's see what we got here. I have found 5 potential matches for you. One eligible young man from each of the kingdom's 5 regions. Choose wisely, you'll be securing a powerful alliance. The Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall. Let's see the eligible bachelors. This is Torgeir, firstborn son of the Northern Mina clan. Apparently he can be a little shy with strangers, but I'm sure he's wonderful when he comes out of his shell. Keeps the company of witch women and god speakers who have taught him mysterious secrets. People say he nurses a grudge though. I can see the appeal, I suppose. This is Rizimir with the fake moustache, the eldest son of the Eastern Sora dynasty. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting me to smile for this portrait, and you cannot even see it because of the mustache. He bought a controlling interest in a silver mine in the east and made a killing. The other counts think he's mad because he treats the peasants far too nicely. Intriguing candidate. From the coast we have Zeno, the wealthy heir to Lord Patrician Sparks Corruption's estate. I mean, just look at him, he's gorgeous, and apparently he's got a silver tongue too. He's also obsessed with the arena. All his friends are gladiators and sometimes he even enters to fight himself. There was also scandal recently where he was publicly critical of the church. Nothing came of it. Nope. From the south, Melcher, the eldest son of the modest people lineage. See that scar? He got it in a duel. He always challenging people over some slight. The only thing he cares for is his faith, which he places above all worldly concerns, and unfortunately lacks the common touch. The peasants have some terrible nicknames for him. Nope. And finally we have the Marcher's offering. Boldruel, Samuel, scion of the prestigious Simple Coffee bloodline. A typical baron, really loud and brash and self-absorbed, but mostly well-meaning. Unlike most barons, he's got no patience for hunting, prefers to spend his time in an armchair with a good book. Give him half a chance and he'll expound at length on how we should improve the lot of the peasants. Sounds like a laugh. I actually like Boldruel. There was nothing wrong with myself. Yeah, that is promising. So, I'm gonna take a look at the first two again. The northern one. Of course, Sora. So, shy with strangers. Wonderful. I don't like the fact that he nurses a grudge. I don't know. Risimer. Sora. Hell of a time getting him to smile. But a controlling interest in his silver mine. Treats the peasants far too nicely. I think it's gonna be the Baron here. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gotta be the Barons. Boldruel. No passion for hunting. Good book. Improve the lots of peasants. Yeah. I've made my decision. It's Boldruel. Excellent, I'll make the arrangements. This whole thing with very low authority and stability, it is an experiment in self-control. It is an exercise in self-control. It really requires you to control yourself and not rebel here, if you want to try and succeed, and save yourselves. Deep in the back rooms of the royal palace, the eastern counts are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. The king has finally found a match, even if it isn't who we had hoped. Now he just needs to get on with the wedding. Indeed, and they get to produce it in the air. My spies have intercepted Kurth merchants bound for the march. They're doing illicit business right under the king's nose. The question is, what are they trading? Yeah, authority and stability is super dangerous. Like, this was intended, right? Like, I really wanted this last reign of the dynasty to feel precarious. Yeah. Boldruel scale 3. Counts, you gotta help me. In a dingy seaside tavern, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Of course it sets for us, you... The treasure is practically empty and the king is struggling to find his ambitions. We're perfectly placed to offer him a loan. So helpful of us. Indeed. These loan agreements will be as friendly as a bear trap, absolutely loaded with hidden catches in the small print. Now watch me work my magic. Good evening, Libertician. What exactly is the purpose of this meeting? I heard about the king's recent money troubles and I thought we could both benefit. Just sign here and here. Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen, Amy. This agreement does seem fair. Very well, I'll sign. The king will be pleased. Good night, Lady Patrician, and may the ninth bless you. See, easy as pie, but it's not enough to bankroll the king. The rest of the kingdom needs to be in debt to us as well. To advance their scheme, the patricians must have the highest trade of all regions in 3 seasons. There you go. Yes, President Spar. No! I accidentally clicked. What were the laws? Oh no, what were the laws? Fuck. What were the laws? Did anyone see? Golden choice and call for unity? Ah, shit. You would have actually gone for gold for call for unity. Ah. If you quit out, couldn't you choose? I don't know. Is that how it works? Does anyone know? I don't know. I don't know at which point it saves. Do you want to find out? Do you want to find out? It saves at each of these screens, or does it save at the end of the season screen? I'm not sure. Chanta Sheep. Chanta Shep, welcome in. This is a mod. I mean, do you want to try and see? I'm okay with doing a one rejoin. I say let's do it. I say let's do it. I say let's do it. Alright, let's let's do continue. And while you join, I'm gonna quickly run to the restroom. I'm gonna be right back. So join everybody. All right, let's go. Welcome back. Oh. Hell yeah, it works. Oh, the lost change? Wow, that's cool. I didn't know. I would have gone for Call for Unity, not Golden Choice. So this is great. Interesting. Yeah, it randomizes. Okay, great. Call for Unity instead of Monarch's Vote. Definitely. Alright. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. This is a very big screen. Royal Wedding. I'd say let's start with that. Let's start with that. You're wedding to Samuel, to Baldriel. Wait, oh my god, Baldriel is... Oh my god, Samuel is pretty freaking hot now. Your wedding to Samuel is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Well, yeah, this guy, you know... This guy bloomed. He grew hair for the wedding. Wow. Feels like you're the only one taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Samuel at your side. You take this man as your lawfully wedded husband? Of course I do. Then yeah, Karzhak stammering when meeting Samuel. You don't look much like your portrait. That I pronounce you king and husband. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, that's actually pretty funny. After the feast, a dance. Your new husband, Samuel, dances so vigorously that he spills wine all over himself. By the time you found yourself alone with Samuel, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. Good God, I'm so drunk, and yet somehow not drunk enough time for more wine. Servants, bring us wine. That's the spirit. What do you think of the wedding? was damn beautiful from start to finish, wasn't it? I had a whale of a time. So what you like to do in your spare time? Books, books and more books. The written word is faster than any ship. He'll transport you halfway across the world in a heartbeat. For a drunkard? You know what I want to do with this guy. Let's go to bed together. No time like the present, huh? Swings back the last dregs of his wine and leads you to bed. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Chat is nerd. Yeah, finally something positive with the spouses, exactly. So I say, let's start with the summit, right away. Let's tackle the huge problem. Your Majesty, the beasts have arrived. Do not worry, the Palace Watch will keep you safe if they try anything. This one is their leader. Who's the leader? Lemon Square. Karzhak. I thought you'd be more feral. Snorts and shrugs. Appearances can be deceiving, Karzhak. Let's just get this over with. As it pleases you. Was Lemon the leader last time too? Oh my god. The Church of the Night God must withdraw from the north immediately and never return. This is our demand. The chiefs have lost their way. We will show them, by the power of Valter and the wisdom of Morgana, what it means to be a northerner. Absolutely preposterous. Surely you cannot even consider this, Your Majesty. These monsters should be shown the sword. So, what are the consequences here? Oh my god. Oh my god, I don't think Karzhak would want to kill them. He refused to accept the heathen's demands. Would be a mess. A slaughter. So, like, mechanically, it's either allow farming to go below 3, or probably have faith to 0 or something. I'm not sure I'm not sure that option A sets faith to 0. Might want to risk it. But like, narratively, RP-wise, Karzhak, I would not want to kill them. I think it'd go A or B. Let me show you a little bit of Karzhak thinking here. Keat of Burden, welcome in and thank you for joining. How are you doing? You are a Baron. No. Yes, you're a Baron. There you are, cutie. How you doing? So, Karzhak practices a very peculiar way, like, form of Ninetheism. Doing good, Kid Burden, thank you. Glad to hear you're not doing too bad. So, yeah, Karzhak practices kind of a, like, yeah, a peculiar form of Ninetheism that respects all other gods. And I don't think this is public, really, but I'm gonna share it with you. I think that the way he sees it, it's kind of a syncretic form of Ninetheism, right? In which all gods are nothing but manifestations of the Ninth. Different aspects of the Ninth. So he really doesn't want to suppress those aspects. He doesn't think that there is a true aspect, right? I think that he thinks that there's a main aspect that the Ninth chooses to present himself as. But then the other gods are just aspects, manifestations of the nine. Yeah, sounds like heresy, definitely. The sort of non-theism that would be called heresy if the kingdom wasn't in such a dire state. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't think this is public, again. Find the answer to the A question? No, keep it to yourself. I don't think this is public. Let us not forget these Ulthrander clans have launched several violent rebellions over the years. They have proven their will to fight. We must either accept their demands or strike them down where they stand. A firm response either way is needed, or it shall be war. I honestly think that Karzhak would push quite strongly to order the church to withdraw completely from the north, with the idea that this is not the time for this kind of conflict, right? The church will always have a second chance to work its way through to the north, but right now our efforts should not be in this, but they should be in trying to preserve the kingdom. If we fight against these people, and in doing so we waste some precious resources, energies and time, and then we fail the quests that have been gifted us by the Nine, and the kingdom ends up being destroyed, what good will it have served? So I think that Karzhak very strongly encourages the nobles to order the church to withdraw completely from the north in order to focus our attention and our energies on things that are actually of life and death importance. Which this is not. This is not. Karzhak is feeling very tense about this, and me too. Looks like the speech might have been well received. This is close, 12-7. More votes coming in for C. If this is the path you choose, we must follow. That is appreciated, Icy Hawk. 12-7, looks like that might be the final result. 13-8, okay. Counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. 15-8. Council is reasonable. The Archbishop is incensed, as are the other regents. The idea that the king would roll over so easily for religious zealots has them questioning your authority. Jesus. Here's the answer. Yep, it's 0. -10. Jesus. The Ulthrander, for their part, agree to return to their homes and stop fighting in the coming season. They begin rebuilding in the north, though not without awareness from their fellow villagers. That's bad. Let's not give up. Let's not give up, though. Your Highness, those mercenaries you hired are behaving terribly. In addition to their wages, they are extorting tolls from traveling merchants in exchange for a safe passage. What happens if the merchants refuse to pay? Their goods are confiscated at sword point. In other words, the mercenaries are robbing just as much as the bandits used to. Between the bandits and the mercenaries, southern trade is being utterly destroyed. Oh, hey there, Thundoom, how you doing? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being hunky-dory, 10 being there is no point hiding under your bed, how fucked are we? 13. And my question has been answered by the 4 rebellions. I mean, that's deceiving though, because we started with 3 authority and 3 stability. How did you fuck this up? By being nobles. By being nobles? So... Oh god. You just had to get along and complete quests. I don't know if I've defined that as the easiest thing in the world. The Chancellor attempted to hand in their resignation during the coronation. That level of fucked? Yes. Karzhak. I don't think Karzhak believes in B. Because that sounds like they're just going to request constant bribes. Oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Yeah, B not great. B not great. I think Karzhak doesn't believe in B. When we have regional quests that deliberately go against the common quest, yeah, we're all fucked, but we keep pushing onwards. Yep, that was the intention of the design, right? Giving you conflict. Otherwise, like, if I had given you quests that were all aligned, that would have been too easy. I wanted to see you struggle. Where's the fun in something where you all work together? Yeah. Key to Burden, I would have loved that option. Oh, Darthvanum, I will absolutely be streaming Occlude. 100%. I'm not going to be streaming it at launch, though, because I'm going to be on vacation on the day it launches. But the following week, once I'm back, I'm definitely going to be streaming it. Alright. These are your options, Council. You decide if you want to try and reason with and punish them, or if you want to just adapt to it. I think Karzhak would want to go for C here. Exactly, Darthvanum. Exactly. I think Karzhak would want to go for C. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Looks like it's gonna be A, 14 to 8. Pretty clear. Let's go. Yeah, they're all bad. They're all bad. Dock the mercenaries pay as punishment. But yeah, I should be back on the... Like, I'm gonna be gone... precisely that week, unfortunately. I had a vacation planned for months. And I'm gonna be back on the 17th, I think. And probably gonna be streaming that day. And might probably stream Occlude. Outraged at the reduction in their wages. The mercenaries march over the border to the Ashmedian Empire and leave your kingdom for good. Holy shit. They plunder a few villages along the way for good measure, leaving ashes in their wake. In their absence, bandits begin preying on the roads once more. Ah! That's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Far to the north, where snow blankets the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs plot to bring about the end of the world. Ragnarok. Morgana has blessed us, the ice giants have agreed to parley. Because of good, with luck, this will be the foundation of an alliance strong enough to rock the world. Hey, the ice giants are a formidable ally, tall as building and leaves like tree trunks, and the southerners don't know how to fight them like we do. But first, We must offer something the giants desire. A whole kingdom's worth of pillage, just what I was thinking. For the next edition scheme, they must raise other regions' trade to a combined total of 12 or more in 2 seasons. The prophesied Ninth Herald has finally manifested on Celestat in the form of a humble noble known as Carmen, who hails from a farming town in the southern hills. Or so the Grindies claim. The peasants are practically starving, we're not living up to Carmen's promises. Couldn't they have promised the sun would shine? That we could do. I'm not sure about that, Vaspir. This is really good. This is so ironic. Couldn't they have promised the sun would shine? You know, not as easy these days. The Grindies' aim is to raise the farming to at least 5. Also, it's very interesting to see Jacinta being one of the skivers. It's really cool. Alright. Let's go. Oh, wait. There are some ads running. I'm gonna stay around here and catch up with chat for a moment. Actually, yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do just that. Said it before, if we were not playing as characters and were instead playing as optimization automatons who wanted to complete quests, we'd have done the common quest by chapter 5. I agree. I agree. But I love that there is conflict. Lemon the Schemer and Lemon the Ultrandra. The problem is that it literally is only detrimental to betray, because if you try to advance your original goals at the expense of everyone else, you die. If you fight, you die. If you work on common quests, you succeed. Yeah, again, but we're not playing to win, right? We're not playing to win. We're role-playing. Did you forget that this is a role-play dynasty, Darth Von Doom? Huh? And not a win-win dynasty? Play-for-win dynasty? I'm there for moral support only. Can we have a hello and care package rewards? What do you mean? Or perhaps sound of breaking pasta? Never. You'll never get that. What do you mean by the other two? Like a sounds and what is care package? Like what the hell do you mean by that? As a player, the conflict makes this sense, and I kind of love that. As a stranger, it's incensing her. A sound who has risen solely to carry out the final wish of hell. I mean, Susie. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it was meant to entice to the players, right? Yeah, I'm not so sure. Sirius, do you want to elaborate? I'm not doing anything because I'm waiting for the ads to run over. It's about a minute, so... Final Affliction, breaking pasta. Then the kingdom disappears because it's more tolerable than living with breaking pasta. Probably. Never liked sound rewards on stream. I like the quietness of here. You know, that's something that I appreciate too, right? Like, I don't really like the idea of having the stream being, how do you say, cluttered with sounds. Like, if I ever do something like that, it might be like some text-to-speech, because that's something that is a little less frequent, and probably on select streams, right? Like, I would turn that off during Dynasty streams, for example, and maybe turn it on for other games. Yeah, I am your sound reward. Sound of my voice, and of me yapping. Alright, ads are over. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. So, Maito, get out of there. That sounds horrifying. Let's go. Let's continue. Oh, I see. No. I don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'll think about it, actually. I'll think about it. But I don't want... Like, I need to think about it because I don't want to give too many causes for interruption. I like the idea of having... Like, we already do that when we do the 3 minutes of ads per hour, right? I usually get up, stretch a little, use the restroom, so I kind of usually already do that. But I definitely want to think of more ways to use channel points in the future. That's one of my goals for the summer, so that by September I have something new. Thank you for the suggestions. Serious. All right, what do we have here? But your air. Let's go with the air. Your marriage to Samuel has grown stale? No! You get along well enough and you've made some good memories together, but there's no spark. Here's more about your stupid books and your happiness. I love my husband though. And we're gonna have a child together. Easy peasy. Dude, yeah, always. Let's do the fine print here. Your Majesty, do you recall the loan agreement I signed with the patricians? Vaguely. It turns out there were some hidden catches. See, the interest they're charging looked very reasonable at first, but it's doubling every 2 weeks. Before long, things will get exponential. That can't be legal. I've poured through the law books, but it's perfectly legal. Luckily, the patricians aren't pressing us for repayment yet, but there are signs that they're tricking the other regions into similar agreements. Fortunately, the patricians have run into economic trouble, nevertheless, would be aware... Nevertheless, would be well advised to call a council vote to address this threat. Okay. Yeah, limited uses could be an option. Yeah, that's a good point. Good idea. If you're more friends than lovers, you can still be a useful partnership. Yeah. So... Pay off the other region's debts from the treasury. If it goes with a punishing embargo, no. We don't want that. Yeah. Let's pay off the other region's debts from the treasury, shall we? Let's use that money to give money to the other regions. Or to the patricians, probably. But helping out the other regions. Let's do that. That sounds great. Swede, welcome back. Wouldn't screw stability right now? Yeah, me neither. I'm not gonna touch your trade, yeah. We need our self-preservation. We're stable as a newborn deer. We're trembling. Oh my god. Why is this so close? 10 to 7, really? 10 to 7, 11 to 7, okay, that's better. Any other votes? 12 to 7, okay. Okay, this is better. Who's voting for B here? I'm gonna draw it in shiny. I appreciate y'all. 12 to 7, I'm gonna count down from 3, 2, 1, and 0. Let's go. Let's spend some money. The other regions are grateful for your gold. The patricians are upset, but there's nothing more. But there's nothing much they can do except grumble. You've hampered the patricians' effort, but not permanently. Their stat gold will not be evaluated until the end of the next season. This is actually super powerful in a 5-region game, lowering defiance by 4. And gunpowder smuggling. Your Highness, the Barons of the March are attempting to amass a store of gunpowder. You know the explosive black powder from Kurth? What can I do? The Barons have established contracts with Kurth merchants, no doubt at great expense. Without the coin to purchase more powder, however, their plot will fail. As it stands, the Barons' trade is strong enough to procure a large gunpowder stockpile. If you wish to stop them, you'll have to act fast. Bring the revelation which the Barons wholeheartedly denied to the Council. What do we want to do here? Do we want to lower trade for our friends the Barons? I'm going to veto C here, and let y'all choose what you want to do here. I'm fine with both. We're absolutely not doing the scheme, I promise. Okay, yeah, let's just make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't think that doing A really changes much, because they only need, how much? Like 5 or what? Yeah, 5, so that's probably not gonna help. So you could go B if you want. Actually, B might even be better. Maybe it's -2. Good point. Could be -2. I don't know. Alright. I'm gonna count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. We're just researching new ways to protect the border. Predictably, the barons roar about unfair treatments and the prejudices of the council, but the tariffs are passed nonetheless. The new law certainly put a dampener on the barons' efforts to purchase the expensive explosive. You can only hope it will be enough. Dang it! Well, let's go. Somewhere in the dark cellar, a nervous baroness is showing her guests a stupendous cache of explosive gunpowder. Behold! Great God! By my life, isn't it rarer than gold dust? Over here it is. This isn't just the biggest stockpile in the kingdom, but the only one. Now what do we do with it? Oh my god, Baron, this is your last stage. What do you want to do? Do you want to sneak the gunpowder under the palace and blow them all sky high, trying to raise stability? Or do you want to start manufacturing muskets and cannons to make your own military unbeatable, trying to raise your own military? What do you want to do? What do you want to do here? Oh my god, the barons actually have a chance here. If they lower military to conclude their last regional quest, by the way. If they lower military by 1, chiefs need to raise farming by 1, barons need to lower military by 1, counts need to lower farming and trade by at least 3 points, grandees need to lower farming to 1, by 1, and patricians are fucked. Alright. I don't know which of these would be harder. I mean, looks pretty clear to me. Alright. You're very welcome, Hesperus. Yeah, Pats will have self-preservation if they don't mess up with their trade. Yeah, if they go A, if the barons go A, they probably win, unless stability is dropped this season. So there is just one baron who has not voted, which is Maito. Maito, if you want to vote, I'm gonna count down from 3, 2, 1, and 0. 50%. Let's see what happens. It's B. Raise your military. Now that we have all these gunpowder, we can reverse engineer cursed mascot designs. We just need the troops to wield them. And we'll step up our recruitment so we're ready when the time comes. I'll get to it. For the final stage of the scheme, the barons must raise their military to at least 5. So either they complete their scheme or they go for their quest. They do get a fortress here to raise their military if they want. Now I see what you meant, Amy. So what else does raise stats? We have an aqueduct to raise farming for the grandees, and these are the only 2 that are relevant. So if y'all want to raise stats, probably want to go for a fortress here and an aqueduct here, but those 2 go against the original quests of the grandees and the barons. So the question is, do y'all think that you can still complete the common quests? Because if not, then maybe you do not want to go for those. Maybe, if you want to go for common quests... Oh, look at this. If the chiefs go for D, the stadium, they complete their common quest. They complete their common quest. Their regional quest, sorry. Because... Shiny, come on. Because they need military at least at 5, and the other in trade and farming at least as high. So if the chiefs go for D, they complete their regional quest. No building helps the counts, unfortunately. And yeah, that's it. That's the only thing that helps a regional quest. Alright. That said, I am going to start the auction in 3, 2, 1, and 0. Let's go. You have 60 seconds, exclamation mark fund, followed by the letter of the building you want to fund, followed by the amount of money you want to spend. What are you going to fund? Oh no. Oh no, Amy. That's so sad. Vaspier funding everything on A. Spending all the money. So D has been funded currently, probably by a bunch of chiefs. And G has been funded too, the aqueduct. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A is the third most funded building? No. C. Oh my god, C has been funded here. 20 seconds left, everybody. Spend your money. Shiny, you need a letter. You need a letter, Shiny. Yeah, there you go. C and G are being funded. D is not being funded. Chiefs. Oh, D is not being funded. 10 seconds left. Oh my god, this is close. This is close. This is close. 5 seconds left. Come on, come on, come on. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, this was wild. What happened in the end? D and C got funded. No fucking way. Oh my god, why did you fund C? Oh my god. Lurks, you oh! Pinbacker! Pinbacker, you monster! Lurks! Oh my god. No, Lurks wants us all to die. Is what's happening here. Lurks wants us all to die. Look at that! Oh, Lurks actually posted a very cool explanation of his character's of their characters' motifs. Let's sacrifice Lurks to Sevis. Lurks Lurks posted a super cool explanation of the motifs of their character, and it's like, do you want to give us a quick summary of that? It was super cool. It was basically it's kind of like Karzhak's point of view, but without the hope, right? Like Karzhak says, if the Ninth wanted to destroy us, he would have not given us the rituals. And Lurks is, the Ninth wants to destroy us, so let me help him, right? What's that explodey head? Like it's kind of similar to Karzhak, right? You didn't think of that? It was really cool. The Saboteur, the real Saboteur, spending a lot of money. How much money does Lurks have now? Exploding for reverse Karzhak, yeah. And you still have money. Yeah, it's a really cool comparison, right? All right, let's go. So Lurks single-handedly, almost, because other people voted for that, managed to sabotage the chiefs into achieving their original quest. That's really fucking cool. That's the power of spending your money, everybody. Arms shortage! Oh my god. Oh my god, arms shortage. Arms shortage. We can do this. Maybe we can do this. Yeah, the arms are too short. Your August Majesty, the situation in the coast is dire. The patricians, I mean, the King's Navy is in tatters. So few ships remain that are here we lack the presence to patrol our trade routes. We must bolster our dwindling forces in the coast. Who knows what will happen to our people without protection. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Oh god, do I need to be bankrupt here? Oh god. Oh god. I'm okay going bankrupt. I am absolutely okay going bankrupt here. I don't care. I'm gonna give you that money. I'm gonna give you that money. If you want that money. Oh my god, Shiny, you're right. Sparse sneakily asking the monarch for arms just before they complete rallying a rebellion. We need sheep. You know, no, we need sheeps. We need sheeps, Your Majesty. We cannot defend ourselves. Aha! Turned against you. Kurth, once their loan repaid, they can help fight off Sevis. Yeah, a good point there. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Hire a mercenary company. Mercenaries, I'm not usually one to trust them, but I suppose it's better than nothing. On your marshal's advice, the treasury contributes a large sum to the hiring of a cadre of Salish freebooters to protect the coast. The Salish are uncouth, foolhardy, and unaccustomed to rubbing shoulders with nobility. Many patricians complain about their lack of discipline, but at least the shipping routes are safe. Warplode is welcoming in. How you doing? We'll take everything that we can get. Sparse. Let's do an untimely death. Murder! Oh my god, shiny. My father, Lord Patricia Shinyquarks, has been murdered, and I know who did it. It was Grandy Tialis by the Ninth. Don't let them deny it. I won't deny that I killed the venerable Lord Patricia Shinyquarks. Tialis never got the hair back. Tialis never grew the hair back. I love this. Ah, god. Yeah, Warplode is next time. Maybe ask what the situation is and why people are rebelling. At least in a dynasty, you know, because this is a very dire situation, and lightly rebelling could spell the end of the dynasty. Right then and there. So it's good form to at least ask what the hell is happening before joining. But it was no murder. Shinyquarks agreed to an honorable duel, which I won. Depths below, it was no duel. It was a cold-blooded killing. What reason would my father possibly have to duel you in the first place? The reason for any duel is between the challenger and the challengee, a private matter not fit for this council. The Grandies are not figuratively murdering the kingdom by not trying to increase their firing, but they are also literally murdered my father. Well... Tialis. I mean, whatever you choose, I hope you take a good decision here. I'm gonna use Call for Unity. Be sad my first death is at the end. That's true. We'll see how it goes though. Wow, people are voting to let the accused go free? That's interesting. Oh my god, this is so close. 7-7. 7-7. It's a tie, really? 7-5-7, 8-7, 9-7. Counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. 10-7. Love ties, I prefer papillons, or however they're called in English. This Grandy bow ties. This Grandy is a danger to all. Imprison them. Unacceptable. This is a direct violation of our cultural rights. To be punished for following the ancient codes and with no evidence, the Ninth God's wrath upon you all. I kind of agree. This is unreasonable. It's clear where his wrath now lies, murderer. This is exactly what you deserve. Kind of disagree here, but... Can we cast another noble for this part? Of course, of course. Kind of disagree with what happened there. There you go, once again. Every day more bandits attack our roads in the south. We are overrun with scoundrels and outlaws. I've looked into this, Your Majesty. A leader of sorts has emerged from among the rabble. For now, the lawless come to his bidding. Tell me more. He calls himself Thomas Greensleeves, and he claims to steal from the rich and give to the poor, by all that is holy. Have you ever heard such nonsense? I'm sorry, TL. The local villagers idolize him. Wait, did that kill you? It doesn't look like it did. They're singing ballads about him, turning him into a legend, and they won't hesitate to let his men hide amongst them when the sheriff comes knocking. Who cares who he is? We need to kill him and teach the others a lesson. I don't think that's how it works, Tialis. Just wait one more season. We are poor ourselves? Yeah. Yes, we are. So we are poor as fuck. Oh my god. I kind of want to try D. I'm not going to veto this, but I kind of want to try D. This is tough though. Like, I could see going for both. I could see him go for both. I'll let you choose. Let's go gambling. I wish we had money. I wish we'd had money. 8 to 12. Looks like we're gonna gamba. 9 to 12 though. 9 to 12. I'm gonna count down from 5 here. Kind of counting down from 5. 4. 3. 2. 10 to 12. 1. And 0. 10 to 13 in the end. You launch it. It's mere campaign across the kingdom. Town criers shout about how Thomas Greensleeve's bandits are cannibals and sadists. Posters denounce him as a devil-worshipping warlock. Fail. It doesn't work. Why should the common folk believe you over there here are Greensleeves? He steals from the rich and gives to the poor. You hear a rumor that Greensleeves is planning a response to your attempted smears. That's just what we needed. Thank you, Greensleeves. Thank you, you piece of shit. Back in the north, Chief Lemon Square is hosting yet another feast at his clan hall. Not everyone is in the mood for celebrating, however. No developments, I'm afraid. The giants aren't willing to commit. Not yet. Anyway, what's the problem? They leave their brains in the ice caves again? Or are they too scared? The economy is the king. Nay, not enough plunder. We must make the other regions bigger, juicier targets. The chiefs aim to raise other regions' combined territory to 12 or more. And then we have the counts are gathering in the empty council hall late at night. A new report from one of their spies has just come in. Drakov's bones, the barons are stockpiling gunpowder of all things. They're sourcing it all the way from Kurth. Gunpowder, the explosive black powder? What are they planning to do with that? Seventh only knows, but they will... Seventh only knows, really, Priest? But they will surely make their move soon, and the king still has yet to produce an heir. Perhaps it's worth changing tact? If it's too late for King Karzhak, we might want to get out with oil again. Our only other option right now is to retake the throne by force. But it's an all-or-nothing play. My dear Counts, what do you want to do here? Do you want to try to help me out and give me some money, which I would really like? Or do you want to try to give me some authority and stability that I don't really need? Or do you want to try to raise your defiance and try to start a rebellion? What do you want to do, Counts? I'd personally love the money right now. I'm starving. Support the king by diverting some extra tax from Eastern peasants? It looks like that's gonna be the choice. Good boys, Counts, good boys. What are they gonna? What are they planning to do with that? Gunpowder doesn't go in tea. I mean, it could be a new tea variety. There you go. Looks like we're gonna support the king by giving him some money. Why is the treasury so low? Not anymore. Excellent! This should help Karzhak keep a good grip on his finances, but we can't do it all for him. Counts must continue to get the king but counter the other region's schemes. Thank you so much, my dear Counts. More spicy tea, exactly. Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Let me show you something. These documents represent the accumulated debts of all the other regions in the kingdom. How did you manage that? I thought they'd know better than not to accept loans from us. Well, they did, but there are plenty of independent moneylenders they've taken loans from over the years, banks in Kurth, Atesh, and Tavaline. I bought up all those debts for myself. Cute and deadly, Hesperus. Gunpowder tea is a pretty good name for a tea. Genius! So now the chiefs, counts, grandees, and barons owe us half their wealth, and the king owes us absolutely everything? Indeed, all that's left is to decide what we do when it's time to collect. Well, patricians, what do you want to do here? You want to graciously forgive all debts in exchange for the throne, trying to raise your raise stability? Or do you want to squeeze every last drop of gold from the kingdom, trying to raise your own military? This is interesting. That's one way to get more military, yeah. Oh my god. That solves one of the options. Oh my god. Yeah, looks like it's gotta be B. Let's go. There's still a chance. It's slim, but there is still a chance. Excellent, let's wring all the juice we can out of this lemon. Hang on, if we try this, won't the other regions just fight back? That's why we can't negotiate from a position of weakness. We must ensure our military is up to snuff. For the final stage of their scheme, the patricians must raise their military to at least 5! Oh my god. Alright. I'm gonna go with just a normal tax here. Let's go. Lady Fluffline, welcome in and thank you for joining. That's a good name. Let me see where you ended up. You are a chief. There you are. Oh my god, you're a cutie. How you doing? So, welcome in. An impassioned plea. Let's do this. Your Majesty, Grandi Tialis, the Grandi you imprisoned for Lord Patrician Shinicor's murder, is asking to speak with you personally. Something about a trial by combat. Very well, I'll head out to the dungeons. You are escorted downstairs to Tialis' cell, in which you find them praying in silence. Thank you for agreeing to meet me, Your Holiness. I have something to beg of you. Jewels of honor are an integral part of Southern culture. So far I have not had a proper trial with which to prove my innocence. I humbly ask you to let the Ninth God decide my fate and sanction a trial by combat. Yes, why not? You are most wise, Your Majesty, thank you. Yes. Humble request. Let's do a refugee crisis. The South is experiencing a terrible famine, Your Highness, and a steady trickle of refugees have been pouring into the marsh. It is a terrible tragedy. They're looking for good food and steady work, but finding neither. They've turned to begging. The streets of March's cities are crowded with southern vagrants. Well, I'm sorry that my suffering people are clogging up the precious March's streets. They need help, not judgment, but will the council give it? Oh god, why do I have to spend my money again? We're not looking for food. Looks like you are. Oh god. I think we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Distribute grain. Let's become broke again. We gotta do it. It does sound funny, it does. Poverty suits you, King Karzhak. We're giving everything we have to try and save this kingdom. 9-7, this is pretty close, so if you haven't voted, vote now, because this can still be tied and turn around. Counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 11-7, 1, and 0. 13-7 in the end. Let's go. Distribute grain among the starving peasants in the south. We are poor. By distributing grain among the peasants who remain in the south, you alleviate their suffering and reduce the flow of refugees. But those who have already made their way to the marsh prove unwilling to return to their homeland, fearing more famine around the corner. Tensions hiding between the Grandies and Barons. So, We are so close. We are so freaking close. Humble request. Oh no, I have to disappoint you, Samuel. Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. I have a proposition. What do you need? I'm writing a military doctrine manual, essential reading for any aspiring ruler. There's a new machine that can print hundreds of copies of the same book at once. It's called the printing press. I was hoping that you could fund the process. Then my book could be sold all over the marsh, maybe even the whole kingdom. I don't want to fucking believe this. I don't want to fucking believe this. I don't want to fucking believe this. You had to spend money on food. Samuel, I am so sorry. I love you, my dear. I so love you. I don't have the money to spare. Hey, I understand. Thank you for hearing me out, though. I'm so sorry, Samuel. In the following weeks, Samuel continues to write his book without your help, but its impact is minimal. It sees a very subdued release and makes practically no money. I feel so sad for the demise of this man. The Angst Demon, you're not in the game. For some reason. Join, so I can answer you. The Yaoi is doomed, yes. Yeah, looks like you're not in the game. There you go. You have 3,500 gold. 3,500 gold. Huh. Well. There you go. We are so fucked. We are so fucked. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, ask them the crown be passed down to my child. The assembled nobles break out into applause, but designating an heir is submitted to the stability of the kingdom. Your greatness! May I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your child. What is their name? Karzhak II. Thank Morgana, your majesty. I'm sure little Karzhak II will grow up to be a sheep of the old block. Congrats on finding an heir, now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Oh, I should have done this one first. Well. We'll see how this goes. Rebellion. At long last, the Grandies have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in your throne room by Grandi, the Angst Demon, her eyes alight with righteous fury. The Night God has judged you unworthy pretender to the throne, and the Grandies of the South have listened. We will rise up and fight for Carmen, the true monarch. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other, we'll be on the battlefield. One day I'll see your head on a spike. There'll be many heads on spikes before this war is over. Mine will not be among them. Grandi, the Angst Demon, strides from your throne room without looking back. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, your majesty. What are our chances? Well, we're badly outnumbered, your hopes are slim. How did things get so bad? The leader of the rebellion is Grandi Vesper III. There's reason for the uprising. He's citing your history of petty transgressions against the Grandies. Is it too late to apologize? It is. Now's the time for swords, not words. So this is it? Civil war? That's right, your majesty. The kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before all this is over. Can't wait. I'm going to get the trebuchets. Let me see what people are saying in chat here. Yeah, if the East speaks for loyalists, we're fucked. This rebellion seems like the final showdown between those who want to save the kingdom as a whole and those who prefer to let the kingdom divide and focus on their own regions. Yeah. Again, the Foals, welcome in and thank you for joining. How are you doing? In case you're just joining, by the way, you're a chief, Egan. For those of you who have just joined, you are joining a recurring role-playing dynasty in a modded game. As you might see, this is a modded game because we have all 5 regions and we have a bunch of other different mods taking place. This is a role-play game dynasty. This is the final episode. And we are role-playing in a kingdom that is cursed, basically, that is destined to be destroyed unless the nobles can band together and complete some quests. Looks like they might not be able to do it, but we'll see. Aside from that, yeah, we run roleplay dynasties pretty much all the time. So if you're joining us at the very end of the dynasty, we're gonna start a new one in a couple weeks. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you like role-playing, world building, and just creating lore together, drop a follow. Join us on Discord, because you're joining us just in time to join the new one. The new dynasty starting in just a couple weeks. All right. Let's go. Opening strike. Yeah, agree, Amy. My dear patricians of the coast, thank you for joining us in our righteous war against the tyrant King Karzhak. Yes, you have our support. We're hoping that you do most of the actual fighting, though. Ha, not likely. You've committed now, my friends, and you must decide where to direct your opening strike. We can launch a preemptive strike against the chiefs to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the barons may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the king's authority is low. You could also call upon the church to condemn the king. Or finally, you could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. What do you want to do, patricians? What do you want to do? Huh? That's the weird ways of war, Shiny. Do you want to launch a preemptive strike on the chiefs? Patricians, do you want to call upon the barons to join your cause? There's no guarantee that they will answer the call. Do you want to petition for the support of the church, or do you want to send an assassin after the king? Huh? I mean, the barons are not forced to rebel. The barons are not forced to rebel. Yeah, it just raises the defiance. Alright. Calling down, counting down from 3 if you are a patrician if you want to vote. This is your opportunity. 3, 2, 1, 0. The patricians smuggle a secret message to the barons. Fearsome barons of the marsh, too long have you suffered under the yoke of the king's tyranny. The kingdom's gone soft. We need your help to put things right. He speaks truly. Why did we never think of things this way? The barons are emboldened by the call to rebellion. Of course, they can only act on it if their defiance is high enough, and if they want to. Alright. Let's go. And let's keep in mind that if either the counts or the barons rebel now, the game is over. Because in a 5-region mod, if 3 regions rebel, it's instant loss. Alright? Trial by combat. Let's do that first. Your Majesty, I'm afraid Grandy Tialis' trial by combat is cancelled. Oh no! Grandy's sympathizers snuck into the dungeons and freed Tialis! Oh my god, this is so cool! We'll have to seek justice on the battlefield. Tialis! Tialis started a rebellion and got freed. That's so cool. That's so cool. An embarrassing incident, what is it? With the rebellion kicking off in the south, the bandit problem is no longer your problem and the Grandies ignore it. They have bigger things to worry about. Oh my god, the Grandies are getting the Grandies are getting their original quest. Holy shit. Of course this is good news for Thomas Greensleeves and his gang, whose numbers are swollen by deserting soldiers. They'll be plaguing roads in the south for years to come, redistributing wealth one wagon at a time. This is insane. The Grandies are actually getting their freaking goal. If they manage to do this, this is insane. This is insane. Your Majesty, the Count's army is worthless. Just a few old men and beerless youths. There are no real soldiers left in the east. Without troops, there's not much we can do. I suggest we start negotiating a surrender. No fucking way. Our castle walls will keep us safe, surely. For a while. With no army to speak of, you can do nothing but stockpile food and wait for the Grandies to come and lay siege. This is the best outcome for the Grandies. Best outcome for the Grandies. Wait, this is your last chance, y'all, to adjust your stats. Let's see if you can do anything. Can you do anything here? I don't think anything helps you, right? I don't think this helps anyone. Egan, you gotta wait, buddy. Yeah, as you can see, the 5 region mod still has some balance issues. Stadium? Oh, the stadium fucks up the Grandies. Oh my god. Is this going to be crab bucket mentality? Oh my god. What's the wording on the quest? What's the wording? Grandies, militant martyrdom. At the end of the dynasty, have military as your highest stat and at least one other stat at 0. Oh god. Yeah, in KOTC terms, highest includes ties. I should have probably worded it differently, because I think that in my mind it was one above the others. Should have probably said single highest. Okay, I don't want to have any hard feelings around here, right? So yeah, I don't want to have any hard feelings. Like, in my original intention, it was meant to be the single highest stat. So meaning the military would have had to be one up the second highest stat. Yeah, I don't want anybody to feel robbed. So if y'all don't think that it's fair, it gives them another dice roll. Give them the roll, but make the result need to be one step higher. What do you mean? Oh no! I get what you mean. So in the event of revolt splits the kingdom from that point on, there is no national unity where the... Wait, I cannot read this. There is no national unity where the regions band together to stop Sevis, and when it wakens, each shall face it as best as they can alone and see what new societies they shall form in the future. Apparently, yeah. I kind of like the idea of us evil grandees getting our comeuppance at the very last moment. It was kind of poetical, right? Yeah. But yeah. So, quick conversation on this. I think we are a cool community because we can talk things out and try to make the best decisions that we can every time. So in my original intention, the quest was meant to be with military being at least one higher than the other stats. But I don't want people to be pissed. So I want to ask the grandies, of course, here, right? Would that feel unfair? Like, how did you interpret it, right? How it was, the way it was written. Did you interpret it as being tied was possible, or did you interpret it as being one higher? Not today, right? Like when you first read it, I'm asking. Like, was it evident or not? Understood as KOTC terms. I thought it had to be max. What do you mean max? Like, did it have to be above the others, or could it be tied? In the way you read it. But I feel like it's unfair because I interpret highest in general as matching the KOTC game terms. Kind of, yeah, I can see that point. I don't think it sounds fair. We still have many quests completed and interpreted originally as having to be the absolute highest stat, no ties. Okay. Trent's the last message before the Doomfall. I've tried. I have tried. I tried over and over to save this kingdom, and yet it is all for naught. May the Ninth help us all. The note seems to have dried tears all over it, either from regret or from anger, or from any other emotion is unknown. Highest as in it has to be 5. Oh no, Ray of Hope. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't do oh god, what's the word for it? Rappresaglia. We don't do retaliations, reprisals, you know? Yeah, that's why it's up to the grandies, exactly. When I first read it, I thought it meant above the others, but I don't want the other grandies to be mad at me. No, of course, of course. Yeah, no. We definitely don't take that into consideration, don't worry. Yeah, I don't want people to feel robbed. Let's just like, it's a lesson learned for me in game design, right? Like in wording. It makes sense that some people might have interpreted it as being in KOTC terms, and I should have been more careful wording it. So yeah. Oh, it is absolutely mentioned, Maito. Yeah. Yeah, success is a 5 or 6, 5 or above. Then let's just say that tide still counts, right? I think that's the most innocuous option that we have. And yeah, lesson learned for the future for me in whatever I write. I need to be very, very exact and think and most importantly, think whether what I'm writing has some corresponding wording in the game, because in that case, it might require more specification. Thank you for your feedback, everybody. I really appreciate the fact that we can try and have conversation about this and, you know, try to find a good solution. I hope that that's not disappointing to other people. I appreciate that. Galaxy Brain Move, grant 1 single dice for ambiguously completing this quest. That's smart. That's smart. I don't think the Veil regions will be able to go in knowing if we build this building we can make a region more likely to be doomed, which I guess is just more of an indictment of auctions as a loot narrative tool in general. Yeah, but that's a whole different conversation, right? Alright. Let's go then. So, a tie is still good for the grandies, so this does not... The stadium does not jeopardize their efforts. So let's start the last auction of the game. Let's fund things, everybody. What do you want to fund here? What do you want to fund? This is your last opportunity to spend all your money. Last opportunity to spend all your money. So build the most beautiful buildings you can. Make them great. Make them grand. Make them beautiful. Yeah, you cannot. You're not gonna take your money with you when the world ends. So spend it. You might as well spend it. 20 seconds left right now. Spend your money. Spend your money. Spend your money. I don't even see a single building at 10,000. Come on. Come on. You can do better than that. 10 seconds left. Come on. 5 seconds left. No, nothing really. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Nothing. I cannot believe it. So we have Hayana Droid and Komori Kitsune with the highest funders, lowering military for the Grandies and raising faith for the Chiefs. Bada boom! Let's go. Sora, sorry about that. We're trying our best. Triumph of the Rebellion. Before long, the great combined army of the Grandies and the Patricians sprawls outside your city walls. Confident in their victory, they mount their assault immediately. I'm going out in triumph. The fighting lasts all night and the sun rises on a scene of carnage and chaos. The main gates were breached at midnight and since then you've heard nothing outside but screams and howls and the clash of blades. Half the capital is in flames. Soldiers rush back and forth shouting panicked orders. Without your marshal to lead them, they're like headless chickens. Your honor guard are in the streets outside the palace, building a barricade and organizing last-ditch defenses. Vital work, but you're vulnerable without them by your side. The royal court is empty except for you, your husband, and your old child, cradled in the arms of their nanny. Crying is giving you a headache. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can wait, sorry, don't worry. If they break in, we can't let them take us alive. We'll go down fighting. There are too many, it's hopeless. At least I'd be doing something. You wait and stew. Outside, the screams and clashes get louder. Finally, your spy master arrives, out of breath, her face stained by smoke and blood. Honor guard is the nuns, yes. They'll be here any moment, your majesty. You must saddle your horse and escape the city. I know of a secret passage. And I trust the malice. I trust the malice. Show me where to go. You can flee like cowards if you like, but I'll stand and fight. Samuel, I love you so much. Samuel hefts his longsword and rushes out of the palace, letting out a fearsome battle cry. You never see him again. Come along, your majesty. We don't have time to lose. Lead on. We're just sad and dejected right now. Yeah. F's in chat for... Salutes in chat for Boldro. The capital is lost, but you can get it back. The barons have agreed to shelter you while you plot your revenge. At least some people are loyal. After crawling down a secret tunnel for what feels like hours, you spill into a leafy courtyard. 3 horses are waiting. As you settle them up, you hear a wet thud behind you, followed by the sound of something rolling across the floor. Turn around. Your spy master is lying dead on the ground. Her head is missing. Grandee Vaspir III stands over the body, flanked by a dozen soldiers. His scimitar stained red. Never liked her. Ideas above her station. Your nine runs off, still clutching your child in her arms. At least there's a ray of hope. There's a ray of hope in chat. Even if you die now, your heir still lives. I'll take that into account, can I? So you knew about the escape route. You're not the only one who spies. With a triumphant smirk, Grandi Vespi III makes a sharp gesture. The southern soldiers step forward, swords at the ready. Twitch is about to play some ads, and I cannot stop that. So as soon as they start, I'm gonna pause whatever I'm doing here. Even if it's at the end, and then we're gonna continue after 3 minutes. The ray of hope is our salvation dice, indeed. Yeah, I'm sure that air will be up to good things, like dying. May the ninth god have mercy on your soul, Sinner. We're gonna brace ourselves. Do it for Bruce, welcome in and thank you for joining. Instead of killing you, the soldiers seize you and drag you back toward the palace. Your ordeal isn't over. After a week rotting in your own dungeon, you're marched out onto a public platform, jeered at by thousands of peasants. You cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. And ads have started. Twitch has blessed us with some ads right now. So do not go anywhere. I'm going to be taking a quick break to use the restroom. And then when we are back, we're going to be reading the conclusion of these. And then I have a special epilogue just for you. And we're going to be rolling some dice to see what happens to the regions. All right? I'll see you in 2 minutes for the conclusion of the Doomfall Dynasty. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. We are about to get to the epic conclusion of the Doomfall Dynasty here. Yeah, Shiny, you're very right here. I can imagine that scene happening. Alright. After a week rotting in your own dungeon, you're marched out onto a public platform. Jeered at by thousands of peasants, you cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. We really haven't learned anything. Grandi Vespi III sits in the front row grinning. The rebels have won, the capital has been taken, we are a former king. The executioner waits silently, holding an axe bigger than you. If you have any last words, now's the time. And I think that Karzhak has a small speech here, saying, yeah, everything I did for my kingdom. I did to try to help you all. I did to try to help us all. If this is the path that you have chosen, this is the path that we will walk. The Ninth has given us a chance. We are choosing to turn it down. This is how it shall be. Praise the Ninth. You place your head on the block, the executioner lifts his massive axe. The axe is already falling. Thunk! Your head bounces into Grandy Vasper III's lap, and your reign comes to a gruesome end. Who's gonna be the successor here? There's one less vote in this reign. Huh? Who's going to be the unfortunate next person to have the crown upon their head? You are picking the first victim of Sevis here. Just so you know. Have a good night, Sirius. Have a good night, Sirius. You are hereby picking the first victim of Sevis in the end. Herona, is it gonna be Herona? They want the Pats to suffer. Okay. Counting down for 3, 2, 1. It is Herona. Oh, look at that. That is so perfect. Such an ostentatious dress. Ah. GG, good game. Having lost to the rebellious Grandies, King Karzhak was dragged out of the palace and decapitated in the city square. I'm gonna skip this whole thing, because we miss other parts. King Karzhak the Usurped. It's very fitting. Queen Herona. Of course, richest noble is sparse corruption, poorest noble is Amy. Yeah, there's a bit more game left to go. Exactly. And this is Herona. So, now, what do we do now? So, things happen. Things happen, right? Let me get this ready for you. Purple eyes? Oh, you're right. Oh my god, I hadn't realized. So, this happens. King Karzhak dies, and many people are expecting something terrible to happen. But nothing at all happens. Nothing at all. The cycle continues every day and every night, with the sun... Yeah, not yet anyways. With the sun growing dimmer, and the stars going down, few by few, every night, until a few days later, Herona is scheduled to be crowned. A coronation ceremony is set up. That day, the sun does not come up, and the stars keep going out. Isaac is there. Isaac is there, and they are so done. They're so done. So, the sun does not come up on the day of the coronation of Herona, and the stars keep going out. But people decide that the coronation should happen, right? People wait on that day, people gather around the palace at the time of the supposed coronation, and the coronation is actually delayed. People wait for a few hours, looking nervously towards the east, hoping to catch a glimmer on the horizon, right? But nothing happens. No way. Are we back? Yes, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't get any notification and I couldn't see chat for a moment. So where did we leave off? What's the last thing you heard? What's the last thing you heard? Waiting for the sun to rise in the east. Nothing happened when the sun was supposed to come up. Great. Fantastic. Nothing happened. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Everyone at the coronation looks east, but nothing happens. Great, 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 great. Fantastic. Thank you. So, let me continue. So yeah, everybody keeps looking east, hoping to catch a glimmer of light on the horizon, but nothing happens at all. And eventually the decision is made to proceed with the coronation. Alright? In complete darkness, lit only by torchlight, the coronation takes place. And it's a muted, somber ceremony where many people fear that something horrible might happen at any point in time. And they have a point. In the exact moment that the crown touches the new queen's forehead and the archbishop proclaims her the queen, a massive tremor shakes the entire kingdom, rattling the foundations of every single building on it and every single person within it. In that moment, the queen starts screaming in pain as the crown starts burning through her skin on her scalp, and she tries to grab it and remove it, but the crown is stuck to her head. As she screams in front of the gathered crowd, the crown lights up in flames. And as the queen keeps screaming and shaking and trying to get this thing off her head, among her screams and the tremors, she bursts in fire. And she burns like a candle in front of the gathered crowd. As she shrivels and dies down, the tremors continue and get stronger, and the ground starts to break. The few remaining stars in the sky turn into falling stars, right? You see them slowly start moving and then fade away. And they're swept away from the sky as if somebody was just smudging them away, you know? Plunging the sky and the kingdom in total darkness. And then, after the last star has disappeared, while the trembling slightly quiets down, the ley lines running through the land begin to glow and erupt in flames. Blazing fire and smoke burst from all the leylands of the kingdom, creating a pattern, a map, running through every corner of the kingdom. Blazing fire and smoke burst from them all over the place. And now we will reveal how much the region's efforts managed to protect them. How much the region's efforts to protect themselves have paid off. Let's see. So, the rules said, let me fetch that. Yeah, good luck everyone. The rules said, for every completed quest, a region gets 2 salvation dice. And then we roll the salvation dice, and based on the numbers of successes, we get specific outcome. So, can you confirm that every region except the Grandy's got 2 quests completed and the Grandy's got 3? Is that what happened there? Correct. Okay. Great. Then let's start rolling. Let's start rolling. So, let me get a way to roll this with you all. Give me a second here. I have it ready. I just have to do one thing real quick, and then we're good. There we go. Okay, I got it ready. So, now, let's start region number 1. Can you pull up the sheet that tells us what happens per each number of successes? I can do that, yeah. Let me do that. That's a good point. Let me do that. It's gonna take like 40 seconds for me to do this. Doomfall, there you go. All right. Oh, give me a second. Almost done. Oh no, I need to reformat it though. God damn it. Yeah, I need a moment. I need a moment for that. Okay, this... yeah, I need to reformat this. Okay, because then I ended up changing it slightly. Compared to the first time I showed it, I ended up rewording it. And I didn't update this document. Almost done. Because I didn't think I would be showing this again. And... there you go. And let me do this. Fantastic. Okay, this works. Let me show you the sheet. No, not the Discord, but this. All right. There you go. So, So, this is what's going to happen here. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Based on the amount of successes. Let's start. What's the order? I say let's go in alphabetical order, and then let's roll the grandees for last, right? So we go barons, chiefs, counts, patricians, grandees. We are rolling 4d6 for the barons. Let's see what happens to the barons here. 4d6 for the barons. The results are going to be in chat. 3, 2, 1. They get 2 successes! Oh my god! 2 successes! Moderate damage. The region is struck by great calamity, but somehow manages to stay intact. Most buildings are gone and more than half the population dies. It takes a long time to rebuild and there is a lot of struggle, but the survivors find a way. The barons survive. They take a very, very serious hit, but they survive. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Somehow manages to stay intact. So the political entity that is the March survives in a way. They're very weak, but they survive. Alright. Let's see what happens to the chiefs now. 4d6. Yeah, 5+. So does that mean their new culture is the one from the unique quests? Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that means. It's up to the barons then to narrate what happens in the end, right? Alright, rolling 4d6 for the chiefs here. Chiefs. Rolling in 3, 2, 1. 2 successes! Same thing! Oh my god, these rolls! Same thing in the north. Same thing in the north. So, both the chiefs and the barons managed to survive somehow. At opposite ends of the kingdom, 2 regions managed to take the brunt of the cataclysm, but somehow, after several years and a lot of work, a lot of death, they managed to survive and to reform. Whew. Have less and less hope for us for some reason. All the good rules are going early. That's not how it works. Do you want to see what happens to the counts? I really hope that people write some lore on this. I really want to read the epilogues. Alright, let's see. 4d6 for the counts. 4d6 for the counts. I don't like people rooting against other groups. Electri, see you in 10 minutes. That's not the kind of energy that I want to see in chat. Yeah, I really hope that people write about this. Alright. Rolling 4d6 for the counts. Counts, let's see what happens to you now. Rolling in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, the East is annihilated! Oh no! Oh my god! Oh no! No successes at all. Please, please, get some salutes in chat for the Gowns. Oh my god! Destruction. The region ceases to exist and suffers the impending doom all of its inhabitants die. And that is left, all that is left are blackened ruins and a charred landscape. Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! My god! That is brutal. Why did I write that? That is everybody dies. Everybody's dead. Oh my god, I'm sorry you had to stay up this late, Sora, just for this. Oh my god. That's devastating. And I'd love to see lore of these two. If people write RP for this, I'd be so fucking... Oh, I wanna read it. I wanna read it. Oh... That's how the cookie crumbles, Soul Dragon. Stakes were clear from the very start. Alright. Yeah, who has the guts to write their OC dying? I really want to see that. I know. It can be tough. It can be tough. No, I know. Like, oh my god. Do I know the emotions run strong when an RP character dies? Like, I've had characters in role-playing games that I was super linked to. You know, die and... Oh. It's tough. Sometimes it takes a while to recover. So... Let's... Yeah, it does suck to lose a character, I agree. So... 46 for the patricians. 46 for the patricians. Can the patricians manage to survive? Oh no, you can. You absolutely can. Shiny, you absolutely can. And maybe you won't die. You know, like, I'm going to leave a little opening for the regions that end up having 0 successes and destruction. A little opening. Let's change this, because this actually sounds very reasonable to me. Because the important thing is not that everybody dies, the important thing is that the region ceases to exist. I'm going to say all of its inhabitants die or are driven away. Because what matters here is that what was formerly known as the region does not exist anymore. So, the thing is, if you are one of the few survivors who manages to go away, you still don't have anything left. You don't have family, you don't have compatriots, you don't have a land, you don't have a home, you don't have possessions, you don't have a culture anymore. You're the last living remnants of your culture destined to die with you. I think that this leaves a better opening for lore, right? Like, if people want to write about their characters dying, that's great. But this leaves a little bit of an opening for writing a different kind of epilogue that I think is just as interesting. Alright. If you write stuff about this, it has to be tragic. I want to see it. Alright, let's roll. Let's roll for the patricians. 46. 46. Of course. I'm gonna do it. 46, rolling for the patricians in 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh my god! The patricians are the luckiest boys! This is insane. Patricians get 3 successes meaning they only get light damage. The region's defenses work as intended. Pats just got on their boats and waited it out. Most of its inhabitants survive, and only minimal damage is suffered. Their reclaimed traditions endure and will help them survive in the new, hostile world. Oh my god! That's insane. That is insane. Oh, I love the emotes there, Hesperus. Oh god. Oof. Alright. Alright. Is that for Julian? What do you mean? Time to roll 66. For the Grandies. Please, mods, if anybody says anything like Electri was saying earlier, just time them out, please, alright? Like, if the Grandies die and anybody says, yeah, okay, they're dead, I'm so happy, fuck the Grandies, just get them out of here. Alright. Grandies. You're up now. You managed to complete all your quests. Let's see if that helps you. Let's see if that helps you. You reclaimed your traditions of militant martyrdom. How does that pan out for you? Counting down. From 3, 2, 1. Rolling. Just one success! Just one success! Heavy damage! Oh my god! Oh my god! The region barely survives, most of its inhabitants die, and few structures remain standing. The local culture, traditions, and institutions succumb. Whatever comes next will have to take a different form than the current one. You know? And it kind of makes sense that something like this would happen in the South, if you think about it. That local traditions and culture are not eradicated, but are subject to profound change. If you think that the end came with a king who was deeply religious and deeply believed in the Ninth and was steeped in Southern culture, even though he wasn't from there, and his failure to bring the regions together in the end and complete the common quests probably spelled the end for that kind of culture and traditions, right? Baron's Chief of Patricia is supposed to survive while there's no counts, and Grandies are hanging on by a thread. Welcome back, Chain Pact. We have to become less militaristic. We have to be less militaristic. Oh boy, I love my martial society. Yep. Yeah, the 3 who's... yeah. That's insane. When was the nature of Sevis revealed? I can give you a little post-credit scene here. Before we end. I'm still shocked at what happened, by the way. I'm still absolutely shocked. Pat's basically untouched. Mostly unscathed. Barons and chiefs are managing, Grand is barely hanging, and Count's just gone. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the East is becoming, like, has become a land that is a dead land, basically, right? Like, it's a place where people don't go. It's a place where people don't go. Probably people say that Sevis now lives there. People go in there and don't come back. It's scorched and dead. Nothing grows there. You know, it's just an abandoned land. The Eastern Exclusion Zone. Yeah, pretty much. Oof. I have a question. Do nations outside the kingdom survive? Did they make efforts to avert the apocalypse? You know, I don't think that's in the scope of this story. I think that whatever happens is so bad that most people in the kingdom don't really know. And probably for a few years, there is no contact at all. Can we have a fun role for the Crown Lands? I mean, oh, the Crown Lands are fucked. I can tell you that. Crown Lands are absolutely fucked. The first place to just for fun, you know, just yeah. So now we do no, we don't. No, we don't, of course. So Kurthis isn't necessarily gone then? I mean, I don't know. Possibly so. Possibly so. Do you really want to know? Do you really want to know what my thought is? In my mind, every other place outside of the kingdom suffers the outcomes of as if they had rolled one success. So heavy damage. So basically the nations that you knew before the cataclysm do not exist anymore. They're heavily damaged, they're slowly recovering, and new things will emerge from their ashes, but they don't exist anymore. Yeah, the Pathers are really lucky. They basically went back to being a union of city-states. Yeah. I wouldn't call it utopia, really. I wouldn't call it utopia. It's still pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up to live in a world like that. But it's probably the place that is safest to live right now. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lectry. Crownlands in the East are the only ones that existed in the entirety. I mean, if I had to go and be precise, I would assume that some parts of I'm generalizing here for the other nations, right? Like, if you had to look at that, we would look at every nation divided into regions and tell you, hey, this region is not doing great. This region is doing all right. This region has been destroyed. But since we don't do that with the other nations, we just consider them as entities, I'm telling you an average result for those nations, right? So I'm telling you that the other nations get damaged enough that their political unity and political structures collapse. And within those regions, those nations, some parts do better than others, and some parts are completely annihilated, just like it happened in the kingdom. So when do the afflictions start to fade, the sun return, etc.? It takes some time. It takes some time, but yeah. Eventually. I'm talking years. I think there are some realities, some places in other nations that have been as lucky as the coast. Possibly, right? But there are not many. Yeah, the patricians cannot trade with other people to trade with. I hope what I'm saying makes sense and I'm getting my thought across. Everywhere is post-apocalyptic. They're relatively less horrible than everywhere else. The paths, yeah. But again, there are some isolated spots that are doing just like the patricians, right? It's not like they're oh my god, they're the blessed ones. No, they were the ones that got out the better in the kingdom, but there are some other places that are doing just like them. Survivors of other places would probably pay a lot to join the coast, or other spots that had their same fate. Yeah, it's better than most places, for sure. The counts would have loved a world of darkness, but in a way, they got the most darkness of other people. Yeah, see, Cloak City of Sarkhan, probably surviving. Agree. I hope you'll be alright, Sora. Would there still be a variant of the counts after the years pass and these actually naturally recovers? Because the scientific effects that cause grass and trees to regrow somehow? What do you mean a variant of the counts? Again, the culture of the counts, gone. Too few survivors to keep that up. There is, like, after a few years, there's not even a cultural group known as the counts. There are just a few isolated people going around, and that culture gets so diluted and so lost that with generations passing, it just disappears. The afflictions keep happening for a while, for a few years. Yeah, I think that's it. That's like, yeah, the patricians got away with light damage, but what are they going to do with their 2 military? They can't really expand, and most places they would go to are blighted. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. The patricians won. No, definitely not. They're not utopian, they just have food and water that is sometimes not contaminated, I would add. And maybe their most elite are literate at a basic level. By the standards of pre-Doom Kingdom, that'd be pretty crappy. Yep. I get that, Sora. Perhaps some of the nastiest horrors of the East somehow survive, so we can have weird mutant undead haunting the ruins, if you really feel the need to. Alright. Yeah, kinda, Maito, yeah. Take care, Shiny. Alright. Oh, you finished the final set of minis? I'm gonna check it out after the stream. Alright, so, this is what happens here. This is what happens. Keep in mind, everybody, that this is not the real end of the dynasty, because we're going to do a discussion next week. Alright? Just gonna be an interesting conclusion stream? Yeah, I agree. The epilogue discussion is gonna go crazy. I agree. So, I invite you to not be... to try to calm your emotions if you can, and use the next week to reflect on what happened, theorize, try to reflect on what could happen, write some epilogues, and next week, on Thursday, we're going to be doing a wrap-up stream for the Dynasty, in which we're going to be reading some epilogues, we're going to be discussing how it went, what went well, what went wrong, how do we feel about it, what we think would happen in the future, a little bit, you know? We usually do this to decompress a little, you know, and elaborate together the end of the Dynasty, because it can be a little tough. You know, there can be a lot of emotion involved at the end of a campaign, and sometimes with some strong endings. So we all take a week to think about it, and then we discuss it again in a moment in which maybe our emotions are a little less activated, and then we can maybe form good memories and good conclusions and good epilogues for the dynasty, so that it can leave the best possible memory in our hearts for the future. All right, this is something we do because we like to take care of ourselves and of each other. So I invite you to be here next Thursday so we can talk this out and discuss what happened and how we feel about it. All right. Yeah. Will there be another KOTC game this week? No, not this week. I'll post an update. Join our Discord server, Ray of Hope, because that's where I post updates for my schedule. That's understandable, Soul Dragon. That's the nature of dice rolls, unfortunately. They counts weren't targeted by anything but bad luck. Awesome, thank you, Vaspir. Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, exactly, Zora. I usually try to steer away from these kind of things because I think that they can be very polarizing, right? Like leaving everything in the dice control can be very polarizing. But I wanted to try it out this once, and let's take a week to think about it, and then next week I'd love to discuss how we feel about it. But next week, not now. See you, Ray of Hope. All right. So, with that said, I'm gonna be wrapping up the Dynasty right now by giving you a little post-credit scene, as I promised. Let me give you a little post-credit scene. Yeah, what's the Easter egg with them after the credit roll? So, yeah, last 1 minute scene before we complete. Oh, take care, Marid. Before we end the Dynasty. So, the kingdom rumbles. No worries, Sora. The ley lines erupt in flames and start devouring and spreading. Right? The earth shakes. The flames devour anything that they touch. And we see the different regions being affected differently, right? Like we see some parts of the east just completely engulfed in flames. We see castles engulfed in flames and burning down. Stone melting as if it was wax under the flames of Sevis. We see some cities in the coast that are... we see some of the ley lines actually radiate a blue light that goes against the red flames that come out of the fissures in the earth and push back the flames and protect some of the buildings. We see scenes of differing intensity in the march, in the north, in the south. And then, after the earth stops shaking and rumbling, we go to an unspecified location. Possibly in the Crownlands. Around the Crownlands. And we see a little mound of earth, quite large mound of earth, filled with cracks all over the place that has been torn open by the earthquakes. And there used to be a little wood up there, and now it's completely burned. So you see these little sticks of charred, these remains of charred trees on top. You see the grass is completely burned out, and these stones, these massive chunks of stone and earth, are all cracked open, right? It's not a a compact mound of earth and stone. And everything is quiet. You can see it, and then you realize that there's no sound except for some wind and the crackling of some fire that's still burning, some dried trees. There's no birds, no small animals scurrying around, nothing but destruction and death. And then the mound starts moving, lifts up a little bit, as if a beast slumbering right beneath it started to shake up from its sleep. You know that thing that dogs do sometimes, that they shake away, you know, dirt? It's the beginning of that motion. You see, just a tiny bit. You see the earth moving about as if this thing was trying to get out of the dirt. And then there's one sudden movement up. The earth goes in the air, and you hear a loud, resounding, deep, croaking sound. And then we cut to credits. Do of that whatever you will. There you go, Sarah. This is the moment when we throw peanuts at the Game Master. Let me have my fun, come on. Yeah, friendly reminder that animals other than frogs can make croaking sounds. Yeah. You can imagine it however you wish. I'm not going to disclose its real nature. I'm just going to leave you this little tidbit here. Alright, this is all I have. This is all I have for you. Demons are fish? Indeed, they are. They are. Alright, everybody. This is gonna be it for Doomfall. Thank you so much for playing this sad and brutal and silly dynasty. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all being here and playing together. I hope you had a good time in spite of the strong feelings that might arise, but that's normal. And thanks again to everybody for the kind help. Earlier in the stream, there are too many of you to name. You know who you are. Thank you so much. And yeah, this turned out. This dynasty turned out kind of longer than I expected, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna be starting a new RP Dynasty in about 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks actually, because I'm probably gonna be gone. So next week we do the wrap up, and then the following week I'm out of town, and then the following one probably start a new one. This is gonna be it from me. We're just gonna wrap up here. I'm not gonna raid anybody. I think I'm just gonna leave you to contemplate Doom. And yeah. Love you all, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Doomfall Dynasty.